fans have waited 3.5 years for. It has been over 1,350 days since they have seen their Elks win a home game, but they're hoping a win over the Argos tonight will finally snap that streak. Spectacular debut, 3 rushing TDs, 238 yards. What does Chad Kelly have in store for an encore on this Sunday? And on the flip side, Taylor Cornelius hasn't had much success against the Argos in the past. Just 1 TD, 4 interceptions in 2 career games against Toronto in that dubious 0-12 record as a starter at home. Will tonight finally be the night? We've been saying it for years, and maybe it will happen here, and hopefully for Edmonton fans. And sorry if you're Argo fans, but this streak has just gone on far too long. Alongside Paul Lapalese, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, as we wrap up week number 3 in the CFL. So, Lapa, we've got a couple of really great storylines going into this game. I mean, for Edmonton, they haven't been able to get anything going offensively this season. We have the home losing streak. And then on the flip side, the defending champs coming out with a statement, starting with Chad Kelly. What are you looking for? I'm looking for rhythm by the Edmonton Elks. You know, they have to have some rhythm to that offense, guys. I don't care if they throw it deep. I don't care if they throw it short. They've got to get more touches to these players. There's Eugene Lewis warming up. Like, they need first downs, and if they get some first downs, they're going to be able to hand the ball off to other people like Kevin Brown, put themselves in a position where other people get the ball, right? They're averaging only 39 plays a game. All right, that's not good enough. You know, there's no chance. Milt Stiegel, I used to try to get you 39 touches a game. That's what I used to try to do for him, man.
Yeah, I think it's what you need to do. If you're Chad Kelly on the road for the first time, you got to learn how to win on the road. And you have to learn how to start stacking football games. This guy played extremely well at a high level, and he belongs. He belongs here, and he looked like he did. And it's a marketable kid that has taken the realm or at the helm here, and I really believe that they're heading the right direction. And he's got to get Coxie involved, and he's got to get his running game, A.J. Ouellette, involved as well.
I know Chris Jones says, you know, there's no pressure on Taylor. He's my quarterback. I don't believe that. If Taylor doesn't start playing better, I think he's going to have a replacement. I think it's going to happen.
That was impressive, Milt Stiegel. You wrapped that up in 10 seconds.
Good. Yeah. You know, I got a text from David Sanchez. He said we're looking nervous. That's what he told me.
Really?
Wow. David Sanchez.
Wow. Davis?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Get back to work, Chesney.
Go, Ches.
What a move by Chad Kelly. Put it on his highlight reel in Game 1 for the Double Blue.
People are expecting big things from Taylor Cornelius here in Edmonton this year.
92-yard touchdown for Gino Lewis as Cornelius strikes.
Look at the arm strength over the top to Monte Coxie. Chad Kelly sends BMO into a frenzy.
The city of Edmonton set to host the final game of Week 3 in the Canadian Football League. The Elks with an 0-2 start after being shut out in Vancouver last week. The defending Grey Cup champions off to a great start, beating Hamilton last week, and a nice step in the right direction for their new starting quarterback.
Yeah, Chad Kelly gets start number 2 with the keys to the car here in Edmonton. In start number 1 against Hamilton, a real good start. 3 rushing touchdowns and a big win in his first start. Taylor Cornelius, one of the major storylines here tonight. Shutout in Vancouver, only 151 yards of net offense. Can he break out of the slump?
Chris Jones just 4-16 since taking back over, and of course no wins at home yet in his second stint with the Edmonton Elks. Ryan Dinwiddie, 21-12, now in his third season as head coach of the Argos. A 32-14 win versus Hamilton to begin the season last week. CJ Sims, Shannon Brooks, I believe, back waiting to return the ball. And we are underway. Sunday action here at Commonwealth. Thank you very much for joining us. Sims goes and gets it, and he's going to take off to the 20. Gets a little bit beyond that before he's wrapped up and taken down, and that is where Taylor Cornelius will go to work, looking for his first home victory as the starting quarterback of the Elks.
Yeah, the Elks were shut out in BC a week ago, so Taylor Cornelius, he still has the confidence of his team. He still has the confidence of his head coach. Gets another start here this evening. The question is, if this offense gets off to a slow start like they have in the first 2 weeks of the season, how long do we see Taylor Cornelius at quarterback?
Got that starting quarterback contract in the offseason, high expectations, and he'll be throwing here near side of the field. Dunbar got turned around and couldn't haul it in. Dunbar looking for his 7th catch of the season.
Take a nice look at here the route for Stephen Dunbar. He's just going to push to the flat and the ball behind him, making that a really difficult catch.
One early on that Cornelius may want back. Dunbar, 53 yards in his first couple of games with Edmonton. 3 options out to the left here for Cornelius, and pressure from the Argos gets it away, and that is complete as he went right back to Dunbar, who tried to lunge ahead, and I believe that'll be spotted just shy of a first down.
Elks this week talking about the little things, talking about making sure that they take care of all the little details through the work week. You know, are you on your spot as a receiver? Dunbar was right there where he needed to be, get in that situation where they can go for it on 3rd down.
Kyle Loxley into the game. Huge 3rd down here early in this ball game, considering the position of the field the Elks currently sit on, just outside their own 30. Loxley pushing right up the middle, and that should be enough. Let's take a look at this starting offense here for the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, on the offensive line, Mark Corte has to take a look and make sure he's making the right calls and protection up front, because this is an all-star linebacking core for the Toronto Argonauts. They have a great core back there. We'll get to that in a second, but the center is responsible to that. You know, big first game for Eugene Lewis. Gino in the second game, not so much. Got to get the ball in his hands again. Get this offense kick-started.
1st and 10 from the Edmonton 35, which is their average starting field position so far this year. They hand it off and nowhere to go against this Argos defense.
Dwayne Hendricks will be the interior of the defensive line. O'Shawn Oakman, Ramalade off to a good start, sack in their first game of the season. And this is the linebacking core I'm talking about. Darius Pickett leads the core with tackles, 11 in just 1 game. And they get Jamal Peters back on the corner. Peters playing his first game this year, but led the league in interceptions a year ago.
6 interceptions last year. 2-yard loss, and here's more as the Argos gang tackle Cornelius, and he is crushing a Darius Pickett, one of those guys you're just talking about, a part of that group.
Yeah, just an all-star linebacking core that they really put together in free agency. They had one in Wynton McManus, but they get Pickett from Montreal, and here he comes on the blitz. And if Taylor Cornelius recognizes it, it's picked up initially, but Pickett keeps at it. He doesn't see a hot route, Cornelius, I mean, and down he goes.
3rd and 22. Take Julian out to kick this away. BJ Bird handling the return duties for Toronto today, and Bird takes us at his 40, a 47-yard kick. And he bounces off a heavy tackle attempt, takes it to the outside and gets it just outside the 50. Darius Pickett with his first sack of the season, busts through and tracks down Cornelius. Welcome back to Commonwealth, everyone. Pretty good starting field position for Chad Kelly, making his first road start in the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, 61% his completion percentage against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in week 1. 3 rushing touchdowns. Nice game on the ground, running the football as well. So good start in start 1. The journey begins.
That's a huge fantasy week. 3 rushing touchdowns for a quarterback. I'm sure Kelly fantasy owners will take that. This one incomplete, looking for his running back out in the flat, and that falls incomplete. Toby Antigua in the area.
Yeah, Antigua gets there in a hurry. He reads this really quickly and is right there. Cam Phillips is trying to run that little screen and trying to make that key block. Is broken up quickly by Antigua. Getting on the roster tonight.
6 years in the CFL, 4 of them on Chris Jones rosters. Kelly, pressure coming, gets it away just in time, down the field, incomplete. Trying to drop one in there for Cam Phillips, covered well. And that will be a quick 2-and-out here for the Argos.
Well, the read for Chad Kelly would take him to this matchup with Enoch McConzo, the linebacker in coverage right here, and as they come out of there, he says, okay, I got my receiver on a linebacker, I'm going corner route trying to go deep in that matchup. But McConzo right step for step and great coverage and great position.
They got it. Here we go.
Haggerty set to kick this away, standing just inside his own 40. Lets it fly cleanly, far side of the field. 46-yard kick taken at the 12. A little bit of room here, a little bit of space here for Sims. Sims takes it out to the 50, tries to find the edge, forced out of bounds at midfield. But the best kick return of the season for Edmonton. CJ Sims making his professional football debut. Elks desperate to find a return man. Maybe they have. Well, when an offense is struggling, some help from the special teams could go a long way, Glenn.
Well, CJ Sims, New Mexico Highlands, just Div 2 getting outside, and look at the quicks. I mean, we're slowing it down for you. I mean, that's called fast twitch right there. He's got some fast twitch.
It's been almost 8 years since this organization had somebody return a touchdown or return a kick for a touchdown, I should say. So Dunbar gets involved here. That's his 3rd target of the game.
That's a big catch, and I know it's just a curl, it's just a first down, it's not a score or anything like that. But that ball wasn't quite accurate, and his receiver bailed him out. And that's what this team needs to do to find the rhythm that Coach talked about on the panel. You know, that they got to get in the rhythm. They're going to need their big-time receivers to make a couple of tough catches to get the confidence of Cornelius back.
That one goes for 14. Dunbar and Mitchell to the left here for Cornelius. Looks that way, throws that way, and goes back to Dunbar again. Wrapped up quickly by McFadden, but another completion into the hands of Stephen Dunbar Jr.
1,000-yard receiver, Eastern All-Star. Part of a star-studded receiving core with Geno Lewis beside him, and Dylan Mitchell. We'll see more of Kyron Moore in the starting lineup as well, with Manny Arsenault out.
Moore just to the right, wearing number 3 there. Cornelius, that's to him. That's Dylan Mitchell. Also in the slot to the wide side right of Cornelius. With time, now flush in the pocket on the run. A quick stumble, bounces back up, and he'll take off. Slides down at the 25, and a flag for a hit as he was sliding, I believe. We'll get another look at this, but Taylor Cornelius hasn't used his legs much so far this year, but he does right there.
No, he hasn't, and that was a big part of his game last year. I mean, that was one of the reasons they got the offense rolling last year, because of his running ability. Just 2 carries coming into this in 2 games. That's a big one. They're going to tack on some more for the hit from Jordan Williams.
Yeah, just 2 carries for 22 yards. This one goes for 10. And as Glenn said, you tack on this penalty, and they're in the red zone. Tough timing on that one for Williams.
Yeah, I mean, the Cornelius slide was pretty deliberate. You just, and when that happens, you just can't even touch it.
Foul, blow to the head. Toronto #1. We'll go up half the distance from the other play. First down for Edmonton.
I don't think it was an intent to injure or anything like that.
No.
He was just hustling in pursuit and clipped him as he went down. But it did hit the helmet, and he finally got his balance there. Cornelius gets outside, and then here comes the slide. You see him going down, and then led with the crown of his helmet to the helmet of Cornelius.
1st and 10 from the Toronto 13. Cornelius dumps it off to Brown. Brown finds some space to the 5 towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Edmonton. Kevin Brown gets him on the board.
Look at that reaction here in Edmonton. Boy, does this offense need that early in this game. A big return by C.J. Sims to get them out of their own end and flip the field, and then the check down. Little pressure coming. Cornelius doesn't like what he sees downfield, so he drops it off to Kevin Brown, and Kevin Brown just takes it from there, carries the mail, touchdown. They needed that for a lot of reasons.
4-play, 56-yard drive after the spectacular return from Sims. And a flag as that extra point is hammered home by Dean Faithful. Kevin Brown joined this team midway through last season and impressed enough to get a deal to bring him back.
Toronto, number 92. Since the cover was good, the 5-yard penalty would be applied on the kickoff. Cover's good.
Edmonton with a 7-0 lead about midway through the first quarter. Kevin Brown finished the job. A stiff arm on his way to the end zone.
Let's go back to the touchdown. When you have a back like Kevin Brown, maybe the term check down isn't a good one. This is a real weapon. You see the great stiff arm, good upper body strength. Watch this. That's a great linebacker tackling, trying to tackle right there. And Wynton McManus, stiff arm right there, and then dives in to get past that cone. Quick return from C.J. Sims, and Kevin Brown finishes it off. But that's a confidence-building drive for number 15.
Well, after being shut out, and maybe his first pass today, one that he would have wanted back. Edmonton was averaging just 6.5 points per game coming in, and they've got 7 on the board right now. Return from Pickett up along the far sideline. Take a look at Chad Kelly and this Argo starting offense.
Monte Coxie, big game against Hamilton. 7 targets, 6 catches. They're going to move Nicastro to center and play Giffen, Dylan Giffen from Western at guard. There's Coxie. Big game in week 1.
Had a chance to chat with him this week, and he told me he was delivering Amazon packages for 6 to 8 months prior to getting an opportunity to join the Canadian Football League. So he's very grateful for the opportunity. And last week is any indication,
Yeah.
it looks like he certainly has some potential.
AJ Ouellette just hitting it. I mean, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, he plays with great intensity, great physicality, and will split time with Andrew Harris.
I'd say he broke a few tackles there, but they didn't even have a chance because he bounced them right off. Back to him again, plunging ahead. First down, Toronto, as they look to put together a response against this Edmonton defense.
That's been playing pretty well. I mean, despite the 0-2 start, they're playing well. Jake Serezna's doing his things. 8 defensive tackles and 2 sacks on the season so far. Niles Morgan in the middle leads their team with 15 tackles. And then you go back to the secondary, and they started with young guys, but rookie Kai Gray's now got a couple of games under his belt and an interception.
39 points allowed in 2 games, their lowest in 2 games since 2012. This ball out to the 40, back to Ouellette again. And they're able to wrap him up, but not before he gets about half of what they needed.
Yeah, we're at the end of this week now, and there's been a couple of games and teams have been able to sort of settle in offensively. We saw last night in Calgary, Saskatchewan, Jamal Morrow, and just get the run game going. I think this offense for Chad Kelly is going to go through A.J. Ouellette or Andrew Harris.
2nd and 4 from their own 40. Empty backfield this time for Kelly. Pressure in his face, gets it away near side, and he has a completion to his other running back. Harris takes it all the way outside the 50 before he's wrapped up.
Such a versatile back throughout his career, and Andrew Harris, you can take Andrew Harris out of the backfield, and he can go against DBs and run a corner route. When he was the MOP, or the most valuable player, I should say, and the outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup, had a couple of deep balls that he caught in that championship. Nice 11-yard gain.
1st and 10 from the 51. Completion, far side. Turned up the field, a little bit of room to run for Brissett. And that's a 1st down Toronto as they are putting together an excellent drive here in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, starting with the run. The run tightens up the front 7. So you got the run with A.J. Ouellette going on the first couple of plays of this drive. And now the front 7 gets a little tighter and closer to the offensive line. And now what they do is they set up this quick screen outside, little wide receiver slot screen because if the linebackers are a little slow getting from the inside out, move the chains again.
Morgan had a crack at him, but he able to stay on his feet. Here's Kelly now, quickly gets it away. Good timing on that. Completion, and almost enough for another 1st down. That time to the former Hamilton Tiger Cat, Ungerer.
That spin move by Ungerer looked a little bit like a video game. Up the field, right? Boom. Yeah.
That's a good call. Play a lot of video games myself, Glenn, and that's just a single button push right there. That's easy, yeah. 2nd and 1 on the Edmonton 33. Harris this time plowing ahead. Gonna be close. I think he probably has enough. Purifoy had moved up to get involved there from his safety's position.
Yeah, they are going to move the chains. He did get enough to get the new set.
Well, you have to like what the Argos have done here after giving up that touchdown. Put it together a pretty good drive. You see that stat there, 4 touchdown drives in 13 possessions in week 2 versus the Ticats. So very efficient offensively last week. Here's Kelly again with some time, gets it away over the middle, and that one batted away. Was looking for Brissett. Darius Bratton is there to deny him.
Yeah, watch this. This is nice coverage. Stay in your back pedal. Now he flips his hips, so he does it's called a blind turn. And because you want to open up as a DB to the direction the receiver is going initially if you can, but if you don't and you get beat and have to make the blind turn, flip your hips around quickly. Bratton played it textbook.
Got his hand up around clean and knocked it away. 9th play of this drive. 2nd and 10 on the Edmonton 31 for Kelly and the Argos. Flags on this one. And that play will be blown dead immediately.
Like the receivers.
Procedure, Toronto number 66. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
That's their left tackle, Isaiah Cage. I was thinking receiver there too.
Yeah, I think I think he did move early, but the receivers looked to me like they were downfield by 2 or 3. Yeah, just see getting ready for that pass pro set. At left tackle, they're moving to Castro in at center, so trying to get some chemistry up front early, but that run game is helping.
Kelly needs 15 here to keep this drive alive. Far side, looking to get it, and he does. Guns it in there. Completion to the veteran, Tavares Daniels.
That's an example of Chad Kelly's arm strength right there. I mean, that was a laser. And he's in the trail position right here in Tavares Daniels. But that throw, as he comes out of that turn, that's a cover 2 man, which means 2 over the top to help. And you can trail as a DB underneath it. And Tavares Daniels needed in one spot, and Kelly drilled it in there.
Fresh set of downs. Kelly wants to take off right up the middle, trying to find his way to the end zone. Taken down just shy. It'll be another first down for Toronto, though. And Kelly himself getting involved in the offense here.
Yeah, one of his touchdowns in week 1 against Hamilton was just like it. I mean, when you have an athletic, strong running quarterback like Chad Kelly is, you know, this is a great weapon in your playbook. Ryan Dinwiddie going to go to that. 3 rushing touchdowns, as we mentioned.
6'2", almost 220 pounds, big guy. Carries himself extremely well in those situations. First and goal from the Edmonton 2 for the Argos. Looking to answer back here. They'll hand it off to the end zone. Touchdown. A.J. Ouellette answers for the Argos.
That's exactly what it was. Started this drive with A.J. Ouellette. Finished the drive with A.J. Ouellette. And yeah, when you have this tandem in the backfield, again, I believe the strength of this team offensively is their 2 tailbacks, and then the running ability of Chad Kelly in that combination. And now that drive was started with the run game and finished with the run game.
11 plays, 88 yards, and now an opportunity to tie this game up for Boris Beatty. 21 yards on the ground on 4 carries for Ouellette. And we are tied at 7 at Commonwealth. As Glenn mentioned, the Argos running the ball extremely well and finishing it off with some power there from A.J. Ouellette. Argos getting on the board here. An 11-play, 88-yard drive. Harris involved, Ouellette involved. In fact, they moved that ball around very well. There's Brissett. Daniels with a big catch on 2nd and 15. Kelly takes off himself. And then Ouellette gets the job done. First touchdown of the season for Ouellette. A high kick here, and that is taken, bobbled, but quickly picked up by Sims. Sims runs out of room just outside the 25 with just over a minute remaining here, and a pretty eventful first quarter at Commonwealth.
Well, now the cover teams for the Argos, they've gauged it, right? It takes one or 2 returns. When you see C.J. Sims with that big punt return, you think, okay, Adebaboye, so I'm going down, blows up a couple blocks and makes a tackle. I know the speed of this guy, got to get to him quick.
Zoned right in there. That able to get her done.
Is some outstanding special teams work right there. Special guys playing on the special teams.
Edmonton starting this drive on their own 27. They'll hand it off to Brown. He does not emerge from the pack there as the Argos wrap up number 4 in green.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's going to happen sometime. But it's still important to keep getting him touches. I mean, Kevin Brown had averaged 11 per game in the first 2 weeks. You know, you look at 18 carries, he's got those 4 catches. Just saw the catch out of the backfield, sort of an extended run that turned into a major. 22 touches, would be great per game.
Did pick up a couple of yards. Now Cornelius takes off again, looking for the first down. He's got it, a slide. And he takes it just outside the 45. So Cornelius looking to activate the legs. Much more here than we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, absolutely has. And I like that he checked to his first couple of reads to the short side of the field there, and when he didn't see it, saw the run lane, did not hesitate to take off. An 18-yard gain, and it looks like he's back with regards to his run game.
4 options to the wide side left for Cornelius. That's where he's going to go. And maybe a short pickup on the play as he got it into the hands of Kyron Moore. Just the 3rd catch of the year for number 3 as the first quarter comes to a close. The Edmonton Elks opened the scoring, but Toronto with a very impressive 88-yard drive to answer back. We are deadlocked at 7 through 15 minutes at Commonwealth. Second quarter action coming up here at Commonwealth in Edmonton. It's the Elks and Argos tied at 7 after 15 minutes, and both teams getting the run game involved in this one.
Yeah, you got to like that for both teams, and it also will set up the big plays down the field. So you go play action after that, and you can get Gino Lewis if you're Edmonton down the field, and Coxie for the Argos. But, you know, if you're coming off a game where you did not score a point in the Canadian Football League, which is almost unheard of, and that's what happened last week for the Elks, you want to get that first score to get that feeling, and that's what Edmonton accomplished in that first quarter. Huge for them.
And we'll see what they're able to do and try to build off of that. Coming off that shutout against BC. And they have the ball here, 2nd and 10. 4 options to the right for Cornelius. Throws that direction. Goes back to Dunbar for a first down. His 4th catch of the game. And on 2nd and 10, they get just enough.
Yeah, this is the best this year that Taylor Cornelius has looked. I mean, it's really not close. I mean, you can see that he's making quick decisions, getting the ball out of his hand really quickly. The only one they've missed is the very first play of the game.
6 for 6 since then is Cornelius. From the Toronto 52, they'll give it to Brown, breaks a tackle, and then gets wrapped up, held onto after that by Daniel Robertson after a pickup of 6 on the ground.
So a little balance in here, but, you know, again, it's all about confidence and getting, just eliminating the self-doubt. And if you're Cornelius, this helps because now you're in second and real short. Lots of options. The playbook wide open. And he can take off and run, which he's been doing or did in the first quarter.
2nd and 4, pressure coming here. Cornelius in trouble, trying to get away, hangs on to the ball, but's taken down as the Argos immediately collapsing that pocket and wrapping him up. Arimalade's 2nd sack of the year if it does indeed go to him.
He's in that stand-up spot, the rush in spot up top. And on the opposite side, Robbie Smith showed like he was going to come off the edge and then dropped into coverage. So the protection up front confused, gives Arimlade a chance to get his 2nd of the year.
What a great pickup for Toronto.
Yeah. Lost Jagarrett Davis and go and pick up Arimlade. Like,
Stampeders fans, earmuffs right now. They don't want to hear it. A guy that they would certainly miss. Julian's kick. Taken just inside the 5, a 48-yard boot. Return to the 10 and no further by Bird. There's a flag on the field right around where Bird hauled this ball in.
Yeah, that's the rule for a returner for Bird is if the ball goes over your head at the 10, you let it go through. You know, you give up the single. I know it's tied, but we're in the second quarter and the field position way more important. He caught that on the warning track. He was on the goal line.
When he turned to kind of get it too.
Yeah.
By the time he turned around, there really wasn't much room. Brought it back
During
up
the return, holding Toronto number 30. We'll go back half the distance. Number 38, excuse me, holding number 38. It's going to be first down for Toronto.
Ben Major calling the shots for us today. So this will back them up a few more yards.
You see the takedown right at the point of attack.
Now the Argos went 88 yards on their last scoring drive. This one starts on the Toronto 4. Back to Ouellette again. And he just barrels his way outside the 10. Great chunk on first down for the Argos.
A lot to like about this. I mean, the way he hits the hole. You know, when you think about this combination and you look at the Andrew Harris veteran, really passing the torch to A.J. Ouellette. And Brian Dinwiddie told us this week that the breakup's going to be about 60% plays to Ouellette, about 40% to Harris. Comes to playing time.
Whistles as Kelly takes this snap. Saw Harris with Oliveira in Winnipeg as well, as they eventually moved to the younger running back there.
Offside, Edmonton number 6. It's a 5-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Toronto.
As A.C. Leonard jumped early. Leonard with 3 tackles on the year, one of those for a loss. Now with Edmonton after spending the last 3 seasons with the Riders. Fresh set down to work with here for Kelly on his own 16. Back to Ouellette again. Breaks a couple of tackles, lunges outside the 20.
So he's trying to teach Ouellette everything he knows, Andrew Harris, and coming from a guy who has accumulated over 10,000 yards rushing and is going straight to the Hall of Fame when he decides to retire. You know what's amazing about this? This guy's in the building tonight. They're honoring the '93 championship team here in Edmonton. That's a quarterback that rushed for over 11,000 yards.
Almost 12,000. He's 80 shy. Intercepted at the 25. All the way back to the house, Purifoy. And Edmonton goes on top. His first as a member of the Elks is a big one.
Penalty flag on the 20. But I believe it was after the interception, well after the interception.
Yeah, 3 flags on the far side of the field to sort things out. Purifoy, an important pickup for this defense this season.
Especially with those young guys back there. I mean, Dwayne Thompson's a rookie, Darius Bratton's a rookie, Kai Gray, mentioned him off the top. Well, you need a veteran in the middle of that group.
Well, they lost Ed Gainey to injury, so Marcus Lewis is playing, and he doesn't have a lot of experience in the league either.
After the play, major foul, misconduct. Edmonton number 96. The 15-yard penalty will be applied on the next kickoff. Touchdown is good.
Purifoy's touchdown stands, pick 6 that goes for 27.
Flags were out after Purifoy crossed the goal line. Something happened well behind the play.
Nice read from Purifoy to step in front of Phillips on that Kelly pass. Faithful knocks home the convert, and the Elks are on top, 14-7.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Look away, kids. Purifoy, one of the better characters in the Canadian Football League. And his biggest play with his new club so far. Steps in, takes it away, takes it home.
You take a look again at this interception by Purifoy, a veteran move by the only veteran in the defensive backfield. Stop it right there. You see how he is looking back to the quarterback in man-to-man, basically breaking the man-to-man rule for a DB. You got to lock into your player, but because he's confident, he knew he had the receiver under control. He peeks back at Chad Kelly, and he can undercut the throw. That's what a veteran can give you out of that secondary. Purifoy with a big play.
Defense will be getting ready to go right back to work here. The Elks, after that penalty to Jamin Pelly, will be kicking this off from their own 15. They brought in A.C. Leonard to help the defense this year, and they brought in Purifoy. And he comes up big there. Pickett on the return now, trying to find some space, wanted to go up and over. But the Elks wouldn't have it. Still pretty good field position for the Argos, looking to bounce back once again.
Well, things went pretty smoothly and pretty well for Chad Kelly. And See this tackle on the teams. Good containment. Makes Pickett turn up right there, and then gang tackle. But in week 1, Chad Kelly, well, not week 1, week 2, their first game.
Here's Kelly, guns one in there, flag on the play. Well, that is complete, and a nice pickup too as he gets it back into the arms of Brissett for his second catch of the game.
He didn't throw a pick, is what I was getting at, and in their first game against
Legal
Hamilton.
contact on the receiver against the defense. The penalties declined. Anyways, the gain is greater. First down for Toronto.
And now this is the first time as the guy facing adversity, coming off the pick 6. Now he's got to come back. This is a good throw to get back in that groove and get back that confidence.
28 yards to Brissett, who was the second overall pick in the 2022 draft.
They're hitting that D button a lot tonight. That spin move is popular.
Gotta work your way down the field. Has to happen.
Is it the B button? Or is it the next button?
I mean, it depends on the controller, to be honest with you. There's so many. First and 10 from the Edmonton 38. They'll hand it off. And that's taken down to about the Edmonton 35, Andrew Harris.
Yeah, you know, like, and this is what he's so young in his journey as the starter in Toronto. And Chad Kelly's going to go through, and you got to check these boxes. So box number 1, we saw him run. We saw good arm strength against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. He had the 3 touchdowns. Good start. Check. Right now he's facing adversity. Can he answer after the pick 6? So far, so good.
Starting to look like it.
Yep.
Has time here, downfield, and that one incomplete. Phillips kind of had to reach back for it a bit. Got his hands on it, but couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just a little bit off on this throw. The throw is here, and if it's here, it's a completion and a first down. Just a bit behind him. And he may score there.
He had that momentum if it hits him in stride, right? Instead, it'll be a 42-yard field goal attempt for Boris Beatty. Just inside the right hash. And that is up. And no problem for Beatty as the Argos do answer, but only with 3. 14-10, Edmonton on top at home. Edmonton leading 14-10 here at home. They have not finished the job at home in over 1,350 days. For more on the losing streak at home, let's send it down to Britt Dorn.
Yeah, well, I want to talk particularly about receiver Stephen Dunbar because he joined this team in the offseason. So when he got here, he told me, I didn't really know much about this losing streak, but I had to embrace it because guess what? When I go to community events, kids are throwing the football around with me and asking, hey, when are we going to get a win here, Dunbar? And he gets in an Uber. They're asking him the same thing. But you'll notice there's some people in the crowd tonight, they're using those tickets from week 1 because they had guarantee win night. And those will roll over until they get a win here for every home game. But Glenn, we talked about it. Something we enjoyed from Dunbar and all the Elks we've talked to is that they say ultimately it's on us. We're the only ones who can change this narrative and make people stop talking about it.
Yeah, exactly what he said. That, you know, it's up to us. We just go win a game.
Cornelius in trouble and taken down. Argos defense on 2nd and 4 are able to get there once again. Costigan, Arimolade causing issues.
Yeah, Arimolade has already got one tonight, and he's up at the top again. And Costigan right at the bottom, so they're bookending this one. But I like the discipline in the pass rushing. They're not allowing for the lanes. There's a couple in the first quarter, and Cornelius took advantage of that. But they were very disciplined in those 2 sacks. Sure they eliminate any escape lanes.
That one goes to Costigan. A former Edmonton Elk, was here for 2 seasons. Julian's kick. Taken by Bird. Right at the 30, pushes it ahead. And that return is stopped just shy of the 40.
Last of Us that was on there.
Yeah.
Part of it filmed right here.
Downtown.
Yep.
scary things, but I like that one. Here's Ouellette. Oh boy, he busts through a hole. Another spin move, and he takes it just outside the 45 for 8 yards on first down.
You know, when players talk about taking care of the details, I want to take your attention to Chad Kelly, the quarterback. This is a run play, but watch what he does after he gives the ball to Ouellette. Gives the ball to Ouellette there. Now watch him. He goes through with his fake. And if that holds a linebacker for 1 second and Ouellette breaks the first tackle, maybe it's an even bigger game.
Funny because he froze A.C. Leonard, and Leonard was the guy who eventually got back and made the tackle. Here's Ouellette again, and that'll be a first down as he takes it right up the gut and just outside the 50. That's his 8th carry of the ball game.
And the substitution here, it looks like that he will go out, and Andrew Harris gets his shot. Also gives him fresh legs. I mean, not only do they bring sort of, you know, Andrew can run power plays as well between the tackles.
46 yards on the ground for Ouellette. Kelly deep down the field, incomplete. Receiver got turned around. He was looking for Brissett again. And that will bring up 2nd and 10 for Toronto.
This is incomplete, but Chad Kelly can spin it. I mean, he controlled his football. I mean, that was as accurate as he got. Now, Brissett got kind of tangled. He turned, he got kind of tangled up and sort of misjudged trying to track that ball down on the corner route. But that's exactly where that ball had to be thrown.
So 2nd and 10 on to Toronto 51 for Kelly. Wants to be throwing here again. He does. That's deflected and falls incomplete. That will bring up 3rd and 10 as that ball looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Niles Morgan possibly involved in that. So with the clock ticking down to about 5.5 minutes here. Haggerty will be ready to kick it away. C.J. Sims lurking and waiting back at his own 10 for Edmonton. The action right at midfield here. Haggerty bounces it at the 11, and that one will roll into the end zone. And Sims will pick it up there, and that will make it a 3-point game. Kevin Brown, he's got a touchdown already in this game, and he'll be looking for more here in the first half when we return to Commonwealth on TSN. Well, lots of talk about the Elks' home losing streak, but what about the other sports, right? It's not just football. What else do we got here?
Major League Baseball, the Dallas Mavericks went 19 games. Now you have a little, I learn about this one here.
I think that led to Sidney Crosby.
So something good came out of that.
Because there was the lockout and then the lottery, and Pittsburgh ended up getting Sidney Crosby for that one. So pretty decent reward. There's Geno Lewis. That's his first catch of the ball game. And it's a good chunk on first down.
Yeah, you take a look at his first 2 games. We showed you that 102-yarder. That 102-yarder was basically 2/3 of his production in the first 2. Just 1 catch in game 2. And that's one way to get him started. Just a little high percentage wide receiver screen.
Move these guys around a little bit. They've got Lewis on the outside now, and Mitchell and Dunbar inside. Now they'll hand it off to Brown. First up for a first down and more. Takes it onto Toronto's side of the field. Really nice second down pickup there. So Brown starts rolling, and got to get Geno Lewis going as well.
Yeah, targeted 12 times, 157 yards, but 102 of them in that one play. So 148 in week 1 versus Saskatchewan, and then against BC just 1. So, you know, you got arguably the best receiver in the league, one of the best receivers for sure. I mean, Dominic Rhyme, there's a lot of great ones, but he's one of them. And I mean, it's just in your playbook. Get it to him somehow. Here you go.
Cornelius in trouble. And boy, the the Argos have been bringing the heat all day on Taylor Cornelius. Brandon Barlow gets home and takes them down this time.
Yeah, Barlow plays this well because Cornelius can't get his hips around. He's going to work his way out here, and watch how Cornelius gets out. He's got to flip his hips around because he had a wide open receiver and he wanted to get it deep. But Barlow just got right in his face. He couldn't follow through. He couldn't step into it, and ends up with the sack.
Fourth sack of the game for this Argos defense. Sets up a 2nd and 18 for Cornelius. They're going to dump it off to Brown. There's a flag go on the play. I believe this will be against Edmonton. Yes, it will. 2:54 on the clock here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and that's going to take the offense off the field with time for Chad Kelly.
Holding Edmonton number 60. The penalties declined. It's going to be 3rd down, and we're at the 3-minute warning.
Andrew Garnett, the guilty party. Toronto will be getting the ball back, trailing 14-11 in the first half.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Antlers?
Antlers up.
That's it.
I'm not going to lie.
Let's go on
our
points.
arts and crafts department at TSN, Rennie, did a terrible
Rennie stinks.
Rennie?
Come on, Randy.
Rennie, you stink. Rose Silver.
I never know what they're doing back there, yeah? Sounds like a great time, though. Julian set to kick it away, stands at the 40. DJ Bird on the return duties for Toronto this evening. Towering kick here from Julian. Bird takes it cleanly at the 10, near side of the field. Stayed in bounds momentarily, a 47-yard kick. Let's go. Wrapped up, taken out of bounds.
Let's go back to that sack by Brandon Barlow because I want to show you what Taylor Cornelius had if not for the pass rush there. And that really is the key here. It's a corner route by Dylan Mitchell, who's really struggling in year 2 here to try and get going and get on track. Stop it right there. If he lets it go now, Mitchell's in behind coverage and he scores. But he can't get it loaded there. His eyes may have been on a different receiver, and then Barlow closes the gap and doesn't let him. But Mitchell in behind coverage big time.
Ouellette finally contained by Edmonton. He had been running all over the Elks so far in this football game. That time comes up empty. Might have even lost a couple on this play.
This is a play that could turn into points one way or the other. I mean, this next one coming up, because don't get the first down here if you're Toronto. You're punting the football from, what, your own 10, inside your own 10, with time for Cornelius to at least get field goal range.
2nd and 12, big play for Kelly here. And A.C. Leonard looked like he got sucked in and jumped early.
Offside, Edmonton number 6. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
So still 2nd down, but a little bit more manageable here for Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. More manageable and really takes away that first down loss. There's the jump.
Second time that's happened to Leonard today. 2nd and 7 now for Kelly. Takes off right up the middle. That'll be a first down as he slides just outside the 35 in a football game where both quarterbacks could move a little bit.
We've seen Chad Kelly in 1.5 games now do this a couple times when he starts to run. He gets up and even past the line of scrimmage, but will still pump fake it. And again, anything you can do to freeze a defender for a split
Even
second.
if you're past the line of scrimmage, you know, that's still their natural instinct, right?
Natural instinct is to wait a second.
Minute and 40 seconds to work with for Kelly. Over the middle, completion in midfield. A little bit of room to run here for Phillips. He'll be wrapped up and taken down by Purifoy. But Phillips was thinking about going the distance on a nice completion from Kelly.
Yeah, that 2nd down play by Chad Kelly to run it. and get the first down, I mean, that is the key play for points one way or another. He doesn't get that. Edmonton gets the ball back with a chance for points, and now the Argos are looking at him.
Working quickly here. Kelly escapes, stays on his feet, looks far side, Donovan! Walking it all the way in under. Touchdown, Toronto! And the Argos go on top late in the first half. What a play from Kelly.
Strong lower body for Chad Kelly to break that tackle. It looked like he was sacked. Just take a look at this. He's caught in the backfield. Shotgun snap, wants to go to the short side, and here comes A.C. Leonard. Spins out of that one. Strong upper body, really doesn't even phase him almost, and Unger are in behind coverage.
Third touchdown of the career for Unger, and Toronto now on top. 18-14. Oh, we got it.
That was for Uncle Mike and the whole Clark family. I love all y'all.
A.C. Leonard, he looks like he's going to drop, and then he delays and comes on this blitz, or not blitz, on this pass rush, just 4 rushers. And he makes a great move to get inside, but that strength of Chad Kelly, break that tackle, eyes up as you roll out, you know, and we're talking a veteran here. Like a veteran type move for Chad Kelly in just game 2. So he gets outside, eyes up, and the scramble rule for any curl or short route is to go deep. And that's what Unger did.
And looked like Kelly sucked in Kai Gray, who left Unger wide open. And he has his first touchdown as a member of the Toronto Argonauts. 80 seconds to work with here for Edmonton if they want to put together a late first half response.
Short.
Sims takes it, makes a couple of guys miss, and then is wrapped up. That return will be just shy of the 30 with 73 seconds to work for Cornelius.
One more look at this real nice play by Chad Kelly, because remember, if you're just joining us now, Kelly threw a pick 6 to Luchez Purifoy earlier in this quarter, and the question was, with a young guy in start number 2 in his career, would he be able to bounce back? And he has done that. He got a field goal and then came back with that big scramble and touchdown throw before the half.
First passing touchdown. Completion to Lewis for a first down. That takes Edmonton outside their 40.
Still time, lots of time. They'll manage the clock now, call the plays on the line of scrimmage.
14-yard pickup to Gino. Cornelius gets this one away near side. Lewis came back to it, but Jamal Peters stepped in and batted that away.
You got to be careful with him.
He's a little dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back. CFL All-Star 22. If you're late on a throw to Jamal Peters' side, watch out. He thought there was a little early contact.
Just a little bump on the shoulder there. No challenge from Jones. Sets up 2nd and 10 on the Edmonton 43 for Cornelius. 3-man rush. Cornelius to Dunbar. Dunbar stumbling, wrapped up and taken down at the 51. They'll be short of what they need. It's been a busy first half here for Dunbar. That's his 5th catch of the ball game.
Yeah, but not too short. And I think this change that they've made offensively to put Gino Lewis and Stephen Dunbar into the short side of the field together, so far they've seen some success with it. So, you know, sometimes you got to juggle up the lineup a little bit. They did have Dylan Mitchell in that spot with Lewis, and now it's Lewis and Dunbar's been active this first half.
So it's 3rd and 2. Cornelius will stay out there with the offense. They won't bring in Loxley. Brown standing in behind his quarterback, needing 2 yards on the Edmonton 51. Does Cornelius. play. Brown's got the first down right to midfield. 4-yard pickup for Brown with about 30 seconds on the clock.
I like that sometime in short yardage. Leave your fullback out there. Leave your tailback behind. You can still go quarterback draw if you want, or quarterback sneak if you want, but you have the option to set up a block, and you know what? You make one man miss when everyone's at the line of scrimmage. Goodbye.
Offside. Toronto, number 92. It's a 5-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Edmonton.
Deontay Knight early on that one. And Edmonton with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, 3 or 4 plays in field goal range, about 15 yards away.
Pressure this time. Cornelius in the pocket, trying to escape, dumps it off, and that will fall incomplete for Dunbar. He was being held by his left arm, tried to throw it ahead with the right. Would have been nice if he could have done it, but it falls incomplete.
Well, it was a full blitz, so had he been able to get out there, Dunbar not only was Dunbar open, but Cornelius could have taken off and ran. I mean, this is the blitz coming there, and they're all coming off the edge. There's an escape lane, but that grab there saves what would have been a big Edmonton offensive play.
That was Jonathan Jones who got the job done for the Argonauts. 2nd and 10 now. More pressure from Toronto. They'll get it away to Kyron Moore. Breaks the tackle. First down and more. Kyron Moore staying on his feet. Eventually wrapped up and tracked down and taken down at the 30 with 16 seconds on the clock.
Full blitz means full man. Man in the back end. So you gotta, if you're sending linebackers, you can't play zone. It's too big a field. And when you're a man-to-man, if one guy covering you misses, you can make a big
play. In field goal range now. And a timeout being called here.
Timeout is called by
Edmonton. I'm not sure Cornelius heard what was being sent in. He was holding his helmet for a good 10 seconds there. And eventually Chris Jones had to call a timeout.
Well, you wanted to run a play and they drop it down to 12. Now you're in.
Timer, please reset the game clock to 14 seconds.
Okay, we'll make
14 seconds, please.
We'll split the difference, make it 14. So Cornelius now just has to manage correctly. So you can take a shot, but if it's a shot, you got to run the fade or a corner route, something like that, where only your guy can get it or nobody, and then you got your chance for your field goal afterwards. But if you don't manage this one correctly, you can lose a chance for points here.
They work from the Toronto 30. Argos bringing a little bit more pressure again. Cornelius over the man, has a completion down to the 11, back to Kyron Moore. 10 seconds on the clock. 3rd catch of the game for Moore. He had just 2 coming in.
And take a shot here. Chris Jones saying, hurry it up. Don't lose this opportunity.
Cornelius, pressure in his face, trying to get away, near side, incomplete. 4 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, a little bit of a scramble drill there to try and beat the clock. Take a shot at the end zone, but you got to do it quickly, and the pressure's coming from up top. Great clear shot. Cornelius really had no chance, but he did the right thing by throwing it away so that he doesn't lose the 4 seconds and they can't get their field goal team out there, at least get 3 here.
That was Costigan right in his face again. He sacked him earlier in the ball game. Faithful 2 for 2 on the year. 18-yarder from pretty much straight away. And he knocks it home. And we got a good ball game here on a Sunday, don't we? 18-17, Toronto leading Edmonton with 1 second left to go here. Both of these quarterbacks have had some pretty good moments in the first half.
Well, I think it's the best half or best 2 quarters of play this season for Taylor Cornelius and for Chad Kelly, coming back from a pick 6 and putting a touchdown and a field goal on the board after the pick 6 shows that it didn't faze him at all. He's okay, he's fine. He came back and executed some real nice plays downfield.
Kelly is 7 of 14 for 160 yards, touchdown and a pick. Cornelius 12 of 16 for 130 and a touchdown. That to his running back, Kevin Brown. As Kelly will step in and take a knee. And the Argos, very impressive last week as well. And Chad Kelly making his first road start, handled some of the adversity thrown his way so far, and I'm really excited to see how the second half of this football game plays out.
Well, and Cornelius, I think, has heard the outside, we'll call it noise, but the outside criticisms, and that he didn't get off to a good start to the season. His first 2 games weren't good, and how long would he even be out there if they started slowly? He's in the locker room right now regrouping, because that was a good half. That buys him a second half. It's important. Get the offense going, and that move to move Eugene Lewis and Stephen Dunbar together, big. It's worked well so far in this first half.
Argos on top, 18-17. Let's send it down to Britt Dort with David Ungerer.
All right, David, really a back-and-forth ball game in those first 2 quarters. Both teams proving to be hungry for the win tonight. How do you evaluate that first half?
Yeah, like you said, it's just a back-and-forth ball game. You know, it's going to take all 60 minutes to get this job done tonight. We just got to keep executing all 4 quarters.
Let's talk about the execution for yourself. You got the touchdown. Walk me through the read on that play.
Yeah, it's just a great play by a great quarterback. You know, when you got a guy like that back there, you just keep working, and he will make plays for you, and you got to make plays for him. That's all that was.
Well, tell me more about Kelly, because this is his first time starting in an away game. So what was his message to you guys tonight?
He just wants us to execute just like everybody else on the team. That's all we preach here, is about executing and playing all 60 minutes, and that's what we're going to do the rest of this game.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Back to Kate and the panel.
And that panel would be Paul Appelese, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stiegel. And we've got ourselves a really nice football game to end off week number 3. And you saw Ungerer just chatting about Chad Kelly there in his first start on the road. Certainly not the dynamic start he had in the opener at BMO Field there, Matt. But I think what's been impressive this game is the way he's bounced back. Even after the INT, he comes back on the field, had the really nice drive, and his Argos currently up.
Absolutely right, Kate. His bounce back. How are you going to face adversity? Didn't have much of that in week 2 in his first win, but on the road against Edmonton, Jones had some time to pick him apart and game plan against him, but I thought he did extremely well. Early, they had a lot of hit screens that are wideouts. I remember Milt, you commented about that. And here, this is after they just scored, so he's got to fight back, and this is a response touchdown drive, and he gets to use his legs right here. I like that. You know, I thought he might have scored right there, but he gets tripped up, and then here, why not? Give it to AJ. He'll find the end zone. Boy, it's just an outstanding job on a player that we've seen in the last couple weeks. He can make some plays with his arm and his legs. And right there you see Ungerer getting in time, getting the end zone for his 3rd time of his career. So I'm just pleased. I'm just smiling at these 2 young quarterbacks finding their way in this football game, trying to make it happen, learning the game on the fly. And it's a breath of fresh air as far as I'm concerned to watch Edmonton put up some points and fight back. And it's going to be a heck of a next 30 minutes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and on the other side, Taylor has played well, especially the way he played those first 2 games. But a big reason why he didn't play well those first 2 games was the pressure that was put on him. And that's not all on him. A lot of it is on the protection. And once again, they're having protection problems. Corey Mace is doing an excellent job executing blitzes and zone blitzes and really confusing the offensive line and the running backs. And it's not all on them. You know, one of them was on Taylor. Sometimes you just got to get rid of the ball. You know, there's going to be some times where your guys aren't able to protect. You got to get rid of the ball. But the Elks have to go in halftime and make some adjustments. They can't allow their quarterback to continue getting hit. They're doing a great job. They're in this game. But if they continue to get pressure on Taylor, it's going to be difficult to win him. So they have to design some different plays, maybe get the ball out of his hands, some quarterback draws, whatever they need to do, because they're in this game, but they got to find a way to keep protecting him.
Yeah, and I talked about having rhythm to start this game, and they've got rhythm. 141 yards in this half. They had 139 yards last week, right? So they're doing it. They're doing it in a number of different ways. They're getting some easy passes, getting the ball out underneath. They've been able to run the football, right, and create some things. And then I like this. They're moving the pocket for easy throws. The quarterback's done some scrambles. He's hit some checkdowns and let Kevin Brown make people miss, right? So I really think they're doing a good job changing up what they're doing, right? And a drive right before the half was outstanding to go ahead and get that field goal. So, you know, Cornelius, you're right, Milt. Like, some of those plays, he's got to understand, stay on the field. You got to get the ball in your hand and put yourself in a position where you can stay on the field. It's hard to overcome those sacks.
Yeah, I like the way both these quarterbacks have responded from some adversity, and you're going to see that through a ball game. And you start stacking good plays, short memories, and still pushing the football down the field. I thought both these young guys did a remarkable job.
And Purifoy making that big play. That was big right there. That was big.
I think, too, I mean, maybe just the concern for the Elks, too, just the pressure, right? Like with Cornelius, it's like, how are you going to react in the second half? It seemed to get a little bit better, but we will find out in the second half of action. Coming up, we're going to talk about the Stamps injuries, just decimated at this point.
Brown finds some space to the 5 towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Edmonton. Kelly wants to take off right up the middle, trying to find his way to the end zone. Taken down. They'll hand it off to the end zone. Touchdown. A.J. Ouellette entered for the Argos. Intercepted at the 25. All the way back to the house. Purifoy.
Stampeders wide receiver Malik Henry suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon during Saturday's loss to the Rough Riders. He'll likely miss the remainder of the season. Henry was helped off the field in the fourth quarter after a non-contact play and was later carted to the locker room. Now, Henry posted this on Twitter today, thanking everyone that reached out to him on Saturday night. He wrote, "It's going to be a long process, but I know God wouldn't put me through anything I couldn't handle. Thank you for all the prayers." And the hard part of this is the Stamps so early in the season have just been decimated by injuries. We have Reggie Baggleton on the 6-game IL. We got Kadeem Carey in the same situation. As mentioned, Malik's injury will probably hold him out for the season, and Peyton Logan being taken off the field as well with an ankle injury. We still await how long he will be out. I mean, it doesn't get much worse at the beginning of the season than this, does it, Milt?
No, injuries are devastating, but you talk about those guys, those are 4 biggest playmakers on offense and special teams. And, you know, I know they're hoping that Baggleton and maybe Kadeem Carey will get back soon, but Malik Henry is done. He's done for the season. And I always say this was the biggest, he's the most explosive playmaker as far as receiver goes when it comes to big plays. And now they have to replace him. So the scouting department or somebody on the practice roster has to come through. But as Dave Dickinson, I'm sure he's saying, hey, we can't concern ourselves with guys who aren't helping us out. All we can think about is the guys we have on the field. No one is feeling sorry for us, so we just have to go out there and make some plays and start getting some victories.
Yeah, and a great opportunity for these youngsters, right? I'm talking about Hakavanu. I'm talking about Barnes, Tucker, Hunchak. You've got Odoms Dukes. You know, you've got Jalen Philpott and Tyson Middlemost. Those 2 guys are in 6 games, and that is it for your receiving corps. So the next man up mentality is the next plane up for the Calgary Stampeders. You're going to have to bring a bunch of guys in here and teach them his system fast, but I expect the young Canadian kids, Barnes, Tucker, Hunchak, Hakavanu, all these kids to get a lot of PT and a lot of playing time, be dialed in real quickly here, and be expected to go out there and produce.
And I like the words you said, next man up. For years, the Calgary Stampeders epitomized next man up. There would be injuries, next guy showed up and they made plays. The silver lining is the Nationals up front in the O-line, not a lot of injuries there. So offense coordinator Pat Delmonico's got to get the run game going and let those guys, you know, run the ball to create some opportunities to help Jake Mayer, because, you know, Jake's got to play better too. You can't have those 3 picks, one that almost went to the, you know, almost to the 1-yard line, down to the 1-yard line. So that's what's got to happen for this football team.
Well, hopefully some of those guys will get healthy. And I mean, the saving grace really overall, it is week 3. Obviously, you don't want that at the beginning of the season, but a lot better than going into the postseason. Right. So hopefully the time will help. Meanwhile, we got to finish off this game at Commonwealth tonight. A great one, a 1-point game. We got stats coming up next.
We had stats.
Taking a look at your first half stats, or as I like to call it, numbers with Lapo.
Yeah, you know, I really want to make sure we see more than 52 yards rushing this second half for the Edmonton Elks, right? I really liked what Toronto was doing. Let's get the Edmonton Elks to make sure they're running the ball, right? Making sure they give opportunities to hold on to this football and take care of business. And no turnovers for the Elks also, guys. And
will they finally end the streak at Commonwealth? Antlers up. I don't want to jinx it, though.
Up.
I don't want to jinx it. We'll get you back to Edmonton. Second half action coming up right after this.
Oh, a beautiful day in Edmonton and a really good first half of football. Elks trailing the Argos 18-17. Brett Dort is with Luchez Purifoy.
Well, it's a tight ball game out there. So what was the message in the locker room for the second half?
Stop the run. Finish the game. We know what we got as a team. We got to go finish the game as a team. We got to stop that run.
Well, we could probably call you Pick Six Purifoy from that first half. Walk me through how you're able to read that play so well.
Film study, man. Just a lot of film study. I know when they get to moving, they like to switch release. They see man, they like to switch release around out routes. I just been doing a lot of film study on him. He liked to take what he see, and I just took advantage of it.
All right, well, what can you say about the offense and the way it is rolling for the Argos right now?
That's all right. We got some for in this half. I can't give them too much credit.
All right, thanks so much.
It's a good lesson to all the children watching. Do your homework, right? Basically, that's what he said.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of film study. Like the switch release, which means the receivers are stacked and go either way. And Kelly likes to take those quick ones, so he just jumped it.
Toronto will start with the ball and with the lead here in the half.
Let's go, BJ.
1-0 this season when leading at halftime. Of course, that victory, a convincing one against the Ticats last week. Faithful gets us started. Thank you very much for joining us. So this is a quick high kick bouncing around. Who's on it? The Argos have it. Elks trying to sneak something in there, but Toronto handles it well.
Well, this is again film study by the Edmonton Elks to take a look at personnel, because Ramalade, the defensive lineman, he's the guy who's trying to field the ball over here on this pooch. And that's a scenario that favors the Elks, as good as he is as a defensive end. You don't necessarily want him trying to field a short kick like that. Kind of pooch it. It's not a true onside.
No.
You're pooching it to that second level.
Trevor Hoyt will eventually hopped on it for the Argos. They start here on the 44. They'll hand it off, and you hear Purifoy say they have to stop the run, and they do that time. McConzo on the tackle.
Okay, so Pawn to King 4 was set up the run. Now they have countered in the chess game to stop the run, and McConzo does a good job of getting to the line of scrimmage and filling really quickly. So what's the next move for the Argos? Play action.
Play action.
Pull it out and go over top.
I was going to say Hail Mary just because I love them, but play action makes more sense.
Second and 12. Hail Mary yet. She's okay for now.
2nd and 12. Seresna coming to Kelly, and he got him. Seresna around the edge. There's a flag at the 35.
Yeah, I think they're going to call a horse collar. Horse collar tackle here.
On Seresna.
Yeah. Looked like it.
Chris Jones not happy.
You know, and for Seresna.
Major foul, roughing the passer, horse collar tackle, excuse me. Edmonton, number 94. Will go up 15 yards from the previous line of scrimmage. It's going to be first down for Toronto.
He's off to such a great start to the year. We had a great chat with him this week, and you know, this is tough because you've already seen Chad Kelly break a tackle just like this one. So now he just wants to hang on and drag him down, but he did it backwards from the shoulder pads.
Trying to stretch it out the outside. Good pickup on first down on the handoff from Kelly. And he's happy with that, 7 yards.
That horse collar is a major foul, which means it's an automatic first down and new set.
Well, and after the short kick and then that penalty, all of a sudden the Argos are in business and they haven't really done much.
Exactly. 5 yards from field goal range.
2nd and 3 for Kelly. 160 yards passing in the first half. He'll hand it off again. And a big hole for Ouellette. He takes it down inside the 35 as the big man rumbling here to start the third quarter.
You know what I really like about Ryan Dinwiddie is that he knows that at halftime the Elks defensively are going to go in and Chris Jones is going to say stop the run. We got to stop the run. And you know what he said? Don't care. I don't care. I know he's going to try to counter with some run defense, and I'm going to still run it to Ouellette.
Harris in the game now, in behind Kelly. Kelly will be throwing here. Down down, finds a man, what a catch, Phillips bounces back up, drops the ball. Scary moment there for Phillips, but what a catch as he hauls that one in from Chad Kelly.
Yeah, it really was. He thought he was down by contact after stretching out to go get this one. Purefoy's playing that safety spot. He's just going to layer across the face of the safety in Purefoy. He knows he's got one on the other side too, but he just reaches out. Now, he's not touched, so that is a fumble. So that ball was live. He goes down on his own, not touched by down by contact.
Wow, wouldn't that have been something? Harris in the spin cycle is wrapped up and taken down. Niles Morgan was there that time, and that'll bring up second and goal.
Let's look at that again. Look, he's not touched. Phillips goes down untouched and then just drops it. He drops the ball. So he's up, and he could have ran and tried to score there. That's a live football. Maconzo didn't realize it, and he recovered his own basic fumble.
As far as bizarre things go, that would have been one of them. If Maconzo just picked that ball up.
We had all the bizarre stuff last night.
Oh, I was watching it. I was watching. I was sitting on my couch at home prepping for this game, losing my mind.
Double overtime. Saskatchewan with the win versus Calgary.
Timeout, Toronto.
So the Argos are going to use a timeout here on second and goal from the Edmonton 2. That's Spencer Nichols.
Yeah, I think he missed the call. The right personnel wasn't out there.
Spencer Nichols, a member of the draft class this year for the Argos. Nice start to the half. 7th play of this drive for Toronto after a pooch kick from the Elks. It didn't work out.
And penalty aided on the horse collar. Yeah.
Harris watching on. Ouellette already has a touchdown in this game. Kelly turns, gives it to Ouellette, right up the middle again, and he's home. Second major of the game for A.J. Ouellette, and the Argos extend their lead at Commonwealth.
You know, I've talked about how physical he is and strong he is, but A.J. Ouellette, the combination of that plus his feet. Watch how quick his feet are. So you take a guy that size with that type of strength, upper and lower body strength, but you give him also, just bless him with a little bit of foot speed, and now he can make that little stutter step in the hole. And not only can he run over you, but he can also make that stutter step, find a little crease, and hit it basically untouched.
2 touchdowns today for 34 in white.
And good hair. Man, he's got good hair.
Great hair.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good ponytail if he wants. Here's Kelly straight in, untouched for 2 more. And Toronto climbs on top, 26-17. As they take advantage of a short field and a pretty big penalty. And then they do the rest. A.J. Ouellette, untouched to the house. He has been an absolute monster so far today. Harris getting a good look, saying I probably could have run through that hole too. Yes. 2 guys who obviously have no problem playing that power game. Ouellette's 5'9", but almost 210 pounds of muscle. And he's got his team on top, 26-17.
2 tickets to the gun show down there.
Here's Sims on the return with some speed. Stays on his feet, trying to escape, but he can't. And a flag on the far side of the field. He had about 1 man to beat. There's some burst in the game of C.J. Sims, no doubt about it.
See what this flag is. There might have been a face mask in there. The way he went down.
That might be the conversation. You might be right on that front. The flag on that far side. Long discussion from the officials here.
You better make that motherfucker miss. That's a big one.
There are 2 penalties during the return, holding against Edmonton and face mask against Toronto. We'll go up 5 yards from where the holding occurred, and it's going to be first down for Edmonton.
Well, dare I say we got it right. We picked up that face mask. We had the early play on the holding. Good tackle. And now they're going to move it back 5 yards. And count it ahead back to the 40.
Yeah, so they went back to where the foul occurred and then moved it up 5. With the change in the 2 penalties, one's worth 15, one worth 10.
We have watched Chad Kelly put together a couple of pretty good answers so far in this football game. Chance for Cornelius. There's his first half numbers. 12 of 16 for a touchdown. Used his legs relatively well as well. This time he'll get it back to Kyron Moore. And Moore with his 4th catch of the game gives them a couple of yards on first down.
First 2 weeks of the season, Kyron Moore was basically a returner.
Yeah.
Almost didn't get any reps on offense. And boy, quickly found a weapon here they can use.
Well, Manny Arsenal is out, so they've moved Kyron Moore and then brought in C.J. Sims to handle the return duty. And Moore is kind of a sneaky under-the-radar pickup. When you go in and get Dunbar and Lewis and Kyron Moore, you know, not a lot of people talking about Moore, but he's been involved so far today. Argos bring a lot of pressure. Cornelius gets it away to Moore again, but he's wrapped up immediately, and that will bring up 3rd and 5 in Edmonton after a couple of completions to Kyron Moore. We'll have to trot out Jake Julian to kick this ball away.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of broken tackles by Kyron Moore on this exact play, but not this time. I mean, Royce Metchie, the safety, you watch him step up. Real good form, open field tackle. Limit the game.
If he didn't get him, Pickett was right there as well. Just over 9 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Edmonton trailing 26-17 against the defending Grey Cup champions. Julian has it blocked, couldn't get it away in time. That'll bounce up and out of bounds on the far side of the field. As the Argos, another big play here to start this half. And it was Ungerer who had a touchdown in the first half. Big block in the second. During the first quarter tonight, the 1993 Grey Cup champions were honored here at Commonwealth. Damon Allen did the coin toss. Big moment. Even a bigger moment now as he is with our Grit Dork.
Well, David, you've had the opportunity to play in a lot of places across this country, but what's it like every time you get to come back to Edmonton?
It's always great to come back to Edmonton. This is my foundation. This is where I learned how to play the game of football, and it really springboarded me to be able to play the 23 years that I played. And so to come out here and see the Edmonton fans, they're very knowledgeable about the game. They're very prideful too. And so even though they're a young team, they're a little bit struggling, at the end of the day, they have to go through their struggles to be the team that they desire to be. So.
Well, you're a 4-time Grey Cup champion. Tonight, obviously, we're talking about the 1993 team. So what stood out about that championship?
Well, we're a together group, and we had a lot of fun, but we worked hard, and we always believed in the motto, never lose 2 games in a row, and so that we took those things seriously. And like I said, the foundation really taught me a lot about winning, because before I came in Edmonton, Eskimo, they won 5 Grey Cups with Warren Moon. So, you know, you got big shoes to fill when you come and play for this football team. But now, the fact that they're the Elks, new team, but the same atmosphere. And when you come in the stadium, other than I played on national grass, you know, it's field turf. But at the end of the day, it's still wear the green and gold. They're playing a tough Argos team right now. A team that I played for that won the Grey Cup last year. So far it's been a good game.
Well, I can't let you get away here without talking about one of your former teammates, one of our current teammates, Matt Dunnigan. What can you tell me about the time when you played with him?
Matthew taught me a lot. When I first came into the game, you know, he was already an all-star. And the fact that he was able to share, give knowledge, we have a good relationship today, because I remember we were sitting in the middle of the field, and he knows his story. We talked about the record books, and we see the Ronnie Lancaster, 19 years, 50,000 yards, and
at that time, we couldn't even perceive to even throw that many yards. But we're thankful that our friendship is still good. We won Grey Cups together, and we're close today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Once again, the most
all-time great.
Well, I was going to say, second all-time in passing yards and third all-time in rushing yards. That's insane.
Well, the total between the passing yards and the rushing yards, 84,000.
Here's Brissett on the pass from Kelly. He's got a first down, though, and will keep this drive alive. Brissett and Ungerer with Curly Gittens Jr. out today. A couple of Canadian receivers having a big impact in this game.
Yeah, Ungerer not only with that touchdown catch, but the block. You know, and Damon Allen just he's watching this game and turned into analyst really quickly when he goes, they're playing a very tough Argo team right now. And they're a young team that needs to go through these bumps in the road to try and become what they want to become.
Back to Ouellette looking for the end zone again, and he's there. Give him 3 on the day. A.J. Ouellette, have yourself a day.
Good shit, baby. Hey, don't tell me we're wrong. I'm trying to tell you.
Example of the feed again. And how quick he is. He's a big man again. Watch the jump cut to get back outside this way. He'll take that inside handoff. See that the hole in the A gap is closed down, so he'll bounce it outside. I think in all 3 he hasn't been hit. Did he get hit
one for sure? I'm trying to think first one. No, he just kind of kicked it out to the right and went in. After that block punt, it was a 5-play, 39-yard drive. The Argos making quick work of a couple of short fields here in the third quarter and find themselves in control, leading 33-17.
Talk to the Elks this week about the little things, the small things. This was back a few plays ago when Ceresna got the penalty on 2nd and 12 that extended an Argo drive. They went down and scored after that penalty. Would have been off the field. Ouellette finishes it. Then it goes back to Edmonton, but a block kick on 3rd down turns into another touchdown by Ouellette. And Jake Ceresna's having a good season, and that was not a penalty that was a dumb mistake or a bad decision.
He was just trying to get any.
He was trying to pull down a real strong quarterback, and by accident grabbed the collar. But when they talk about the little things, those are the little things that turn a game really quickly. 14 points on the board when they were off the field in 2nd and 12.
Now can the offense pick
now they
this
got
team
work to
back
do.
up?
Now they got to go.
Kai Loxley in a quarterback, and he fumbles, and it's taken away by the Argos. Kai Loxley into the game, fumbles it, and Toronto immediately scoops it up. Things go from bad to worse for the Elks.
Daniel right here. Defensively, it just looked like the exchange between he and Kevin Brown. That's that RPO, riding the side type of play. And the idea there is the quarterback is going to ride the tailback with the ball and then pull it if he wants to get the edge and get the corner. Daniel disrupts all of it, but it looks like Brown tried to grab it away from him.
So right back at it. Kelly and the Argos goes to Brissett. Brissett gets one block and then eventually taken down at the 15, just shy of a first down. I wonder if Loxley was just in for that play, or had they pulled Cornelius in this game and gone, well, we won't know. But that's a tough look right there. When you're stuck with Cornelius all game, you're down. Not necessarily because of him in this half.
No,
right?
no, the 14 points that just changed the game weren't Cornelius. I mean, he had one crack at it, 2 plays, they were out, and then they got the block kick. So, yeah,
So I don't know if they had decided to pull him and go to Loxley.
We'll see when they get the ball back if they're going to go to Loxley here.
Only needed a yard, and the Argos push ahead. They've got that. Cornelius is throwing on the sideline with the other quarterback on the roster, Jarrett Daggy, who they liked a lot in the preseason and have dressed him here today. And he's jumping, looks like he's trying to get warm actually on the sideline, doesn't it, Glenn?
It does.
We'll get to that storyline should it occur. Right now, the Argos are looking to pile on some more. 1st and 10 from the Edmonton 13. Back to Oled again, trying to push ahead, and they'll stop him after a pretty decent pickup on 1st down.
Yeah, another thing we got to make note of here up front is they had to make a change and move Castro in at center, and the run blocking tonight for the Argos has been outstanding. I mean, you know, you heard Purefoy talk to Britt at the end of the half, or at the beginning of this half, and basically say we got to stop the run. That's our #1 goal. They haven't been able to.
4th trip to the red zone today. They're 3 for 3 thus far. Here's Kelly. That one rolled too hot to handle for Brissett, who's been heavily involved. That's his 8th target of the game, but he can't come up with that one.
You know what was impressive for me for Chad Kelly on our Zoom call was I asked him a question that I often ask quarterbacks after a win, and I say, you know, sometimes a win can look better than it is, and sometimes a loss looks worse than it really is. So when you look back at the win against Hamilton, I asked Kelly, what did you want to improve upon? He not only mentioned a few plays, but he described 5 or 6 plays in detail where he wanted to make a different decision or change it. I love that attention to detail by Chad Kelly.
Beatty, a 16-yard field goal attempt. Got that hold in just in time, and he hammers it through. And the lead grows to 19 for the Argos. Toronto's last 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and a new man at quarterback for Edmonton when we return. Well, welcome to the Canadian Football League. Jarrett Daggy wrapped up his college career at Troy, started it at Bowling Green, went to West Virginia, went to Western Kentucky, and then transferred from Western Kentucky to Troy. And now he has an opportunity to come in dressing today because Trey Ford did not dress. The Elks made this decision. They liked what they saw in the preseason from Daggy, and now he comes in with his team down, and he goes over the middle, and if Dunbar held on to that, that's a spectacular catch from Stephen Dunbar, and Daggy wastes no time going down the field.
How about the confidence of Daggy? Just step in there and let's throw it right down the middle where all the DBs and linebackers are reaching and diving and going after it. Well, it's good to see that Dunbar got up from that. Looked like he got a knee in the back of the head, too.
21-yard completion, the first of Daggy's career. 3 options to his left here. And nice little sidearm to get it back to Dunbar again, and that is just shy of a 1st down. Some creativity from number 12 in green.
Yeah, Daggy threw around the rush there, and you know, he had a good preseason, and they really liked what he did there. So you give him a chance. I mean, Kyle Loxley got a play, fumbled it, and he's out. I was throwing around the rush, changing your throwing motion, making it happen.
When Daggy had come off to the sideline, but now he goes back out there, 2nd and 2. There's Cornelius. He completed about 78% of his passes, 132 yards and a touchdown. Daggy trying to push ahead, and he'll be stopped here by the Argos. And that should bring up 3rd down, and now some pushing and shoving on the other side of that pile. So Cornelius, yeah, 14 of 18, 132, touchdown, no turnovers.
Yeah, he got sacked a few times.
Did get sacked a few times.
And we showed you the one where Dylan Mitchell was in behind coverage, and he didn't pull the trigger on that one to get it to him. Would have scored there. So again, you know, I thought it was his best quarter in the 1st quarter of the season, and he ran a couple times in that 1st quarter too.
3rd and 1. And Loxley's handled the short yardage for most of the year, and they've not brought him in for either of these downs. Daggy will try it again. This time they're going to move him out to the right. He stumbles, trying to push ahead. I don't know. Toronto says no to Jared Daggy, and a turnover on downs.
It was the stumbling. He had the edge. It looked like he had the edge originally. And I wonder if Kyle Loxley got hurt on that fumble. And that's one of the reasons we're seeing Daggy. But let's just take a look. Like that was, it was a trip. He just reached out. Who was that who got his hand on him? Deontay Knight, I think, shot through there, tripped him up. And because he was staggering, and Darius Pickett closed immediately.
Loxley is pacing the Elks sideline, holding his helmet. Looks like he's trying to walk something off there, doesn't it, Glenn?
Yeah, I wonder if he was hurt when they fumbled that, or if he's just not happy with this decision and kind of removed himself.
Andrew Harris gets about 8 or 9 yards. The last 3 possessions for Edmonton: a blocked punt, a fumble, and a turnover on downs. On that last drive, at least they managed to move the ball down the field with Daggy, a 21-yard strike to Dunbar. Dunbar's having a nice day, 78 yards on 7 catches, but the Argos are just likely planning on running the ball down the throat of the Elks here as time ticks down in the 3rd quarter.
He's not happy. That's Kyle Loxley got a shot there of.
Well, it is
some
interesting.
drama happening down here in front of us on the Edmonton sideline.
It is interesting. Kyle Loxley's been with the organization for a while. If that's the only shot he got, I could see why he would be frustrated, right?
We'll see if we get any updates, but doesn't look hurt.
No, I think he just said, "I'm good." That was trainer Ryan Cheeseman who went over to talk to him, and looks like he's just not pleased with the situation.
Here's the thing. I mean, he's taken the number 2 since camp.
Yeah.
And then they...
Here's Harris, right up the middle. Ooh, he lowers the helmet, I believe, on Purifoy. And Andrew Harris just turning the clock back a good 10 years here.
So he can bring the the hammer.
The Elks falling apart, and the Argos taking advantage a number of times. Full control of the game, leading 36-17 after 3 quarters on the road. Welcome back to Edmonton. The Argos in full control here, leading 36-17. The Edmonton Elks have used 3 quarterbacks in this game, and this is an organization that had a great run of quarterbacks, no doubt about it. Not the situation they're in right now.
Yeah, we just saw the interview with Damon Allen. So they had Wilkie, Warren Moon, Matt Gunnigan, Damon Allen, Tracy Ham. They're now looking for a quarterback in Edmonton, and clearly Kyle Loxley is upset. There's drama on the Edmonton bench right now. He got all of 1 play. Trey Ford, who was on the roster for the first 2 weeks, won a game as a starter in Hamilton last year.
He's not dressed.
Didn't even dress, was a healthy scratch. They pulled Taylor Cornelius after really just 2 plays in the second half, where he got a punt blocked and it turned into a 14-point turnaround, and that was it. And then I don't know, there's some drama.
It might be possible to say you've angered 3 of your quarterbacks today. Here's Ouellette pushing ahead.
And meanwhile, the Argos are just grinding me down. I mean, here's another one to Ouellette, just keep grinding it and hitting them.
Well, all the drama's going on with Edmonton. Kelly's just handing it off to Ouellette and Andrew Harris, and they're running it down the throat of the Elks.
Banging it in there, yeah. It's...
Second and 5 this time for Toronto. Last week it was 3 rushing touchdowns for Kelly, the quarterback. This week, 3 rushing touchdowns for Ouellette. High snap, Kelly, good job to hang on to that. Ouellette breaks through a couple of tackles and might be just shy of the first down, but he's very close.
Great agility level for him, and this offensive line has opened it up nicely. I mean, sometimes he'll have to take this little jump cut, but look at the vision too. Like, you know, he's got 3 guys with their momentum going one way, and he just little jump cut to get back and get another 3 or 4. Remember early in this game, Chad Kelly threw a pick 6, gave up the lead at that point, and then came back hard after it. Didn't phase it.
233 yards passing and a touchdown since that interception. And the Elks possibly getting the ball back here.
Yeah, I don't think they got it.
Cameron Dukes was looking for the first down. And he'll be close. But he's going to be marked just short. So if you're looking for bright spots for Edmonton, that play, he's about a yard shy there. Garrett Daggy back into the game. And he'll get a little bit of run. I think he'll be the man the rest of the way in this one. You know,
and I'll tell you what, Kai Loxley is 25, 30 yards away from his bench and his head coach.
Yeah, he's not happy. You know what? I would say, I know Daggy looked good in the preseason. Kai Loxley had a really nice preseason at quarterback for Edmonton as well. Here's Daggy. Has a completion right over the middle, and that's the first catch of the ball game, and just the 4th of the season for Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, I think for Dylan Mitchell. Now quarterback play is you know, a big part of this, right? I mean, your receivers are going to struggle if your quarterbacks are. I mean, that's my Captain Obvious moment of the night.
Daggy in trouble, taken down again. Argo's sack parade continues. This time, Hendricks gets in on the fun.
Yeah, and let's give credit where credit's due, because there has been that great play up front of Ramalade. Excuse me, in the middle there, good bull rush from both tackles. But credit where credit is due, where get a couple of completions in a row and the Elks get sacked.
Bird backing up, able to hang on to this. Looking for some room on the far side of the field. Back to about the 35-yard line and no further. Argo's D-line taking a well-deserved breather. Time now for your Coors Light moment of chill.
Be careful, because it'll scare you.
Yeah. There he is, Lucas Purifoy with the Pennywise mask on, and this interception, as far as the Elks' bright spots go, that was it. They took the lead on that interception 14-7, have scored just 3 points since then. Boboye in the game now at running back. And there's an injured player down on the field, right at the 40-yard line. You see Kelly there, he's looking down.
One of the big boys trying to get a number.
Got the braces on there. Cage.
Yep.
That's 66. Isaiah Cage. They're going to take a look at him. We will step away here on TSN. CFL and TSN continues next week with a full slate of Canada Day weekend games. The action begins with Friday night football showdown between the Elks and Red Blacks. Keeps rolling all weekend long. Only on TSN. A couple of those games with our partners down south, the CBS Sports Network. Cornelius having a chat with the offensive line. Here's Kelly. Dumps it off. Adeboboye wrapped up after a short pickup.
Boy, that really said it all, that shot down the Edmonton bench and just what they're going through right now. And you know, I remember back in the early days and some tough years in Saskatchewan early on, and it's you know, you can't sleep at night, you don't eat right, you can't, the self-doubt is just killing you, and you're trying to figure out how to switch it up, and quarterbacks are not sure which one's playing and which one's not. Half of them are mad. Well, 75% of them look upset.
Which also was just shy of Cornelius's percentage tonight, 78% before he was yanked. Towering kick here. Taken by Sims, 58-yarder. Sims trying to find some space. Staying on his feet at the 50. Still going. Not stopped yet. Another big return from CJ Sims. And the Edmonton Elks with 9:34 on the clock, trailing by 19, finally with a glimmer of hope.
Well, he's been a bright spot, you know, and if you try to build on every little positive you can when you're in a losing streak, and Edmonton can build on CJ Sims. They put him in back there, and yet the CFL has found another great kick returner. I mean, there's been some pretty good ones play here. In fact, one's in the building in Gizmo.
Giz is here.
I'm not comparing them.
They were built differently.
And I'm not comparing them after three returns. No. I just don't want to be confused there.
Daggy goes up to Gino Lewis, hauls it in, and it's wrapped up almost immediately, taken down. Daggy, if the name sounds familiar to some of you, his older brother played 4 games for the Riders back in 2014. Seth Daggy. Garrett's 4 of 4.
Well, he's gone in there with the sense of urgency, and 4 for 4, got sacked.
2nd and 9. Now he wants to look down the field for Lewis, and that'll be pass interference as Jamal Peters basically runs over him.
Yeah, Jamal Peters tried to cross over to go after the football, and they just got all tangled up, and down he went.
Pass interference, Toronto number 3. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down for Edmonton.
There's the go route, little stutter step, and Peters in good position, but you see, watch how he crosses over to go after the ball. He wants to make the pick, and he runs right through Lewis to get there.
34 yards on the penalty, puts Daggy and the Elks in the red zone. Goes back to Lewis, end zone, touchdown, ball pops out, and now it's going to be picked up by the Argonauts and brought back the other way. Lewis gets back up, comes all the way back down and tracks him down. Now, was he in before that ball was stripped out?
Yeah, exactly. And did he have possession across the plane?
He just has to break the plane with possession on that.
Break the plane with possession.
This ball would have had to be knocked out before.
Left of your screen.
Oh, what a play!
Well, it's hard to tell from the angle behind. Maybe this one down the line will be a little bit better. Here we go. He got it out before it crossed the plane.
Just before.
This play is under automatic review by the command center.
Now it's automatic because it's a turnover and a scoring play or a scoring attempt.
Just a phenomenal effort here by Peters to come over and yank it away. It looked like we're talking centimeters before Lewis crossed the line.
Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. The fumble was out before the player crossed the goal line. It's recovered by Toronto. It's first down, Toronto.
Just never quit, right? Never give up, never quit. Keep fighting, keep pulling, keep trying to drag the ball out of there. And it was literally a game of inches in that case.
Peters, first game back with the club. Signed with Atlanta in January, worked his way back here to the Argos. Adeboboye with a nice run on first down. 21 yards there, as all three of the Argos running backs have had success running the ball against this Chris Jones defense.
Yeah, Adeboboye gets a big run there, and now the Argos running the ball well over 100 yards. Ouellette, 84. Harris, 5 for 27, and they're giving both of their starting backs a bit of a break.
162 yards on the ground for the Argos. That's 110 more than Edmonton. Now Kelly, one-on-one, far sideline, turning around and hauling it in. For the first time today, DeMonte Coxie gets involved in spectacular fashion. What a catch.
Yeah, asked back Chad Kelly and Coach Dinwiddie about Coxie after that first game with 131 yards, and he just, both guys went right to his catch radius. Those big long arms, he's anywhere in the area code and he'll pull it down.
Working there against Marcus Lewis, who's in the game in place of the injured Ed Gainey today. This carry on first down doesn't go anywhere. And that'll bring up second and long for Toronto. And they've been running the ball extremely well. Chad Kelly still has 264 yards in the air as well. So a threat both up top and on the ground are the Argos today.
I'm going to bring back an old saying we used to have. It's called the TSN turning point.
I don't even know. I know exactly where you're going.
And so did our director, Don, because she went right to Serezna in that penalty. And again, I'm not making him the villain, and it's not his fault, but that penalty turned it around.
Kelly throwing here, and that one intercepted. Second one of the game for Purifoy. And he'll take it outside the 35. It was off a deflection, came down, but there's a flag in the secondary. Back on the 4.
Oh boy, it could be an illegal block on the interception.
On the
on the interception return. Because the flag came out late. It almost looked like Purifoy had the ball in his hands before that flag came out.
Purifoy, 3 interceptions last season, 2 of them here today, 1 of them for a touchdown earlier on.
So that some of the return yards taken off. They'll move the ball back, but the interception will stand. The second of the night.
It was a great effort to deflect that ball. And Purifoy was there waiting for it. One more look as we step away. Konar thought he had it. Purifoy got it done.
Even when you're down in the score, you want to keep working because the video doesn't lie. So who's going to quit and who's not? Adam Konar makes a heck of a play here, dropping deep from the linebacker spot to cause the problems and give the football to Purifoy. He ends up with the pick, but Konar make the play.
Yeah, it looked like Konar kind of got out there, almost went right through his hands into Purifoy, bounced up, managed to hang on to it. Daggy intercepted, and the final nail in the coffin from the Argos. It's Mechie, a 15-yard pick six, 42-17, and the Boo Birds are out at Commonwealth.
Well, this is just a young quarterback getting fooled with that extra player, the free safety, and Royce Mechie coming down. See, this is what Daggy thought was in coverage. It was on the outside and Deshaun Amos. He thought Amos was covering him. What he didn't know was the safety was coming to rob the hole and basically come down. You always think the safety is going to be the deepest guy in the middle. And young quarterbacks get fooled by this quite often early in their career. They slip him down into that hole in the middle of the linebacking core, and then he jumps the curl route.
PD for one more. And the lead grows to 26. Purifoy takes it away. Daggy gives it right back. And Mechie takes it home.
73 tackles last year for Royce Mechie. Like, he's right here, and usually he will drop into the deep middle, right? That's usually where the safety is going to play in most coverages, whether it's cover 3 zone or not. See, he sneaks up and robs the curl. And, you know, that's the dream come true for a safety, when you get a chance to get down closer to the ball, because you got to be patient most of the game and help the rest of the DBs. But every now and then, the DC will say, you know what, let's rob the curl here. He won't even see you. Sneak inside out, and he took it to the house. Corey Mace gave the safety one. And he's a good one, man. Royce Mechie, 73 defensive tackles last year. I mean, come on. From the safety spot.
Couple of interceptions, too. Get this one first of the year, but all the way home. Sims to the 20. Trying to find some space, cuts it back. And now to the far side of the field, he's got something cooking. Down to the 50, CJ Sims to the 40. Still going, and finally they push him out of bounds. But the third great return of the day for CJ Sims, for an organization that hasn't had a return touchdown since 2015.
Yeah, this is just fun to watch. I mean, he's got some quicks. That's a fast twitch returner right there. I mentioned that right off the top. That's the first thing you notice, how quick those feet are moving. That's a 72-yard. Look at this. Look at that. His feet are like jackrabbit. Found a guy.
Daggy back out at quarterback. Has a completion to Lewis. And a first down with Gino. One more look at this excellent return.
Yeah, let's give the Edmonton fans something to enjoy. I mean, they gave CJ Sims here a real nice round of applause after, no matter what the score says, you got to keep hustling, keep working.
Get him, Doug. It's how you respond.
First and 10. Daggy, another completion. This one to Dunbar. Tripped up just shy of the end zone. And Edmonton trying to take advantage of the Sims return. He's gone for 275 return yards today. Has that man, CJ Sims.
Got his chance. Get your opportunity, make the most of it, and he certainly has it. You know what? I would say Daggy has too. I mean, he threw the pick six, got fooled there.
They'll hand it off to Brown, trying to push ahead. Never actually gets taken down until that moment, but they blew it dead moments before.
But wow, Edmonton's going to have an interesting week at the quarterback position.
I think the decision's made.
So Daggy's taking number one reps.
I think it's Daggy.
Daggy's taking number one rep. Sims in there going, come on, let's keep battling, keep working.
You pulled Cornelius. He was probably having his best game of the season.
Well, best first quarter. Yeah. He didn't get a chance much in the second half. He got those two plays, and that was it.
Loxley came in, fumbled. He's still standing where he is at the sideline. They'll hand it off to Brown, trying to push ahead. Stopped again by the Argos. Trey Ford, who'd been dressed for the first two games, wasn't dressed today, so he couldn't get in. I think they've already made the decision with Daggy, but it'll be interesting to see. There's Ford. And Ford looked like he had the job last year prior to that injury.
Well, he started and won a game.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Third and goal. We know they were stopped 3 times. Similar situation by the Riders in the home opener. This time working the shotgun. Daggy spins, has some room, has a man, touchdown. As he'll dump it into the hands of Vincent Forbes-Monblow. His first catch of the game and the first touchdown of his career.
Okay, Jared Daggy, there you go. Pretty good composure, bounced back from a pick six, a couple of completions after a big 70-plus yard return from CJ Sims, and got some pressure, bounced out of the pocket, a little blind turn to get outside, throwing against the flow, good accuracy in for a touchdown throw. Something positive for the Elks. They'll go for 2.
5-play, 33-yard drive. They'll look for 2 more here to make it an 18-point game. Daggy, the keeper, the end zone for 2. And the lead is 43-25. Daggy not happy with the hit as he entered the end zone. Bought himself some time here. Found the end zone for the first time in his CFL career. Welcome back to Commonwealth. There's a look at Jared Daggy, who just threw his first career passing touchdown. Kind of had one earlier. Lewis would have held on to that ball. He'd have 2.
Yeah, that wasn't his fault.
He's 8 of 9 for 79 and a touchdown. Huge kick here. Drops just inside the 40.
Well, you know, considering it's all brand new for Jared Daggy, I would say all in all a pretty good job of trying to get something positive for this team. I mean, he took off and ran bought some time there, and then shows a little toughness here to lower his pad level and take a couple of hits to get the extra 2, and really just one mistake when he went in there, but
his only incompletion ended up being a pick 6. Here's Kelly. He'll hand it off.
But young guys are going to make mistakes. You're going to see that in young quarterbacks all the time. I mean, Chad Kelly is in his second start, threw a pick 6 tonight.
Yeah, first road start of his career, right?
Yeah, came back from it.
Well, I think the thought process of bringing in Daggy and taking out Trey Ford is that they've kind of thought that if anybody in this quarterback group was going to replace Taylor Cornelius, maybe permanently moving forward, it would be this guy, right? So
it's just, you know, let's cut to the chase. It's a bit of a mess. I mean,
yeah, that's a polite way to put it.
Well, you know, I mean, listen, Chris Jones has had success here in this city as the head coach, and at that time he had Michael Riley as his starting quarterback. Very different situation than he has right now, trying to find a young guy, and just a bit of a mess.
He had faith in Cornelius coming into the season. I mean, he told us coming into the year how he'd gone and looked, had a good camp, had to, you know, put together reasons why he was going to take a step, get him that contract. There's assistant general manager Leroy Simon, who I know is a big fan of Kai Loxley.
Who is not a big fan of Chris Jones right now.
Loxley hasn't moved for, look at this. Look at this. Adeboboye with a first down, just churning. The Argos have working their way up towards 200 yards of rushing tonight against Edmonton.
Yeah, good for Adeboboye to get some real quality reps here. Fullback out front gets that seal block. That was Spencer Nichols with 25.
Defending Grey Cup champs look good, Glenn.
They do. They do. Now, I know there's a ton of people that will say they beat Hamilton, who's struggling, and now they've beaten Edmonton.
Winless teams.
Yeah. But I like Chad Kelly, what we've seen. We've seen the arm strength, we've seen the toughness, we've seen the strength and his ability to run. They have a tremendous two-pronged running game in Harris and Ouellette. We talked about that all night. Like their receiving core, their secondary, their linebacking core is an all-star group they built in free agency when they brought over Jordan Williams and Darius Pickett. So you know you've got a solid team, and no Sean Oakman tonight.
Here's Harris. Jukes his way to the right. How about this for a matchup next week? BC Lions, Toronto Argos.
Okay.
I think you probably can get behind that as a CFL fan.
And some early days when we were reminiscing with Damon Allen and Matt Dunnigan and talking about the quarterbacks in Edmonton, I couldn't help but look at Ouellette and think, I remember Matt Dunnigan with a hairdo very, very similar to A.J. Ouellette. I don't know if he had quite the shaved sides, but Matty had that that blonde flow going on.
I don't
Big
want to
time.
say anything, but I think AJ's got a better beard than Matty right now, too. Sorry, Matty. One last opportunity here for CJ Sims to impress everybody. Whistles as Haggerty took the snap.
Really cool to see Damon Allen. Just to think about the numbers.
Time count violation, Toronto number 29. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Think about the numbers that he put up, and over 84,000 yards he was responsible for, and almost 500 touchdowns. I mean, it was great to hear him, and talk about the good old days when he and Matty used to sit at center field here and talk strategy and about the history of this club, and it's got a tremendous history with a lot of pride. And I'm going to say it, I don't think they're that far off. They aren't. Their defense is... The defense got to figure out a way to stop the run, that's for sure.
Sims takes this one and is wrapped up before he could really get those legs churning just outside the 25.
Found a kick returner.
It appears to be the case. They brought in the receivers.
They got the receivers, so they got playmakers in the receiving core. They've got a good running back.
He's actually a pretty good 1-2 punch at running back. They just haven't really unleashed Shannon Brooks, but he was a preseason sensation as well.
When you're trying to find the signal caller, when you're trying to find the quarterback, it all looks way worse than it probably really is.
So what you're telling me is that quarterback is a pretty important position.
Probably the most important in any sport.
Daggy. That one might have been deflected.
Yeah, I think his arm got hit. Yeah.
Comes up short. 23 seconds on the clock.
But I do like this Argo team. I mean, that linebacking core, Jordan Williams in the middle. I mean, Enoch Mwamba's not even playing. Wynton McManus. See the promos we were running with Wynton McManus? When he'd look right in the camera? Like the first time we ran the promo last night for tonight and he was looking straight in the camera, I took a step backwards. I was like, whoa, he's going to hit somebody.
Daggy escapes from the pocket, avoids being tripped up, and gets hammered as he throws it downfield. Oh. It's caught! Forbes Montblow bounces into his hands, and how's that for a finish to the game? Second touchdown of the game, 84 yards for 82.
Okay. Montblow just, oh, surprise, surprise, it made it here. Well, let's see the pressure first. I mean, he almost caught, but just high steps it out on the edge here. Keeps his balance and thinks, yeah, took a hit too. It was McManus, by the way. Look at this. Watch this hit. Ooh, that's a biggie. What happened at the other end? Look at that.
McManus can't believe it.
Go. You gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. 0 for 2.
Can he stay up this time? He does. Daggy finally taken down. It's Pickett who's had enough.
If there was any question, I don't think Kyle Oxley wants to talk to anybody.
No.
Trey Ford didn't dress tonight. They've already made, it looks like Taylor Cornelius got pulled. This, if there was any question,
yeah,
Daggy's going to get the first team reps starting tomorrow. Well, they go walk through tomorrow. They're starting the first work day.
They have Ottawa coming up. Loxley, as we mentioned, hasn't moved from that spot since.
Well, he's got a little closer. He's got a little. He's creeped a little closer.
I'll get the tape out here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trey Ford.
Ford moved down to him. That's what it was.
Sorry.
Montblow, a 2-touchdown day. And if you had Montblow dressed in your CFL fantasy today, his fourth quarter might have just won you your week. 86 yards, a couple of touchdowns.
Onside kick attempt here, I'm sure.
And there's still 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
I know
Good
we
try.
always say CFL,
Good try.
some
Yeah.
crazy things, but
Yeah, no.
not this one.
No.
Argos are going to go to 2-0. Flag here as this one is taken down neatly and brought back the other way. Antigua on the tackle with 2 seconds on the clock. A little bit of laundry sort out here.
May have been offside.
So 2 teams in different spots right now, Suits.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, the Argos say arguably all due respect to Montreal, another good win for them, but that would be the #1 team in the East. They've only played 2 at the bye off week 1. But Chad Kelly has looked good. And, you know, he checked another box tonight. Again, bouncing back from that pick 6.
You know, I would say, and you know, he's not young,
on the last
but he's
play. Offside on the kicking team, number 39, and then a legal block on the return against Toronto. We have to re-kick 5 yards up.
So he's new to this role this year. And I think he looks very much in control of this offense, doesn't he?
I like it. I like the attention to detail we talked about with him on the Zoom call. I like the composure you see from him. He's really strong. I mean, he's athletic. You saw him break a couple of tackles tonight, a couple of sacks. And that play that really turned the game, and again, I'm not making Serezna the GOAT here, but that play that really turned the game was because of his strength, his lower body strength. I mean, Serezna felt like he had him. He was escaping, so he just grabbed anything he could, and it ended up being the shoulder pads. And then he got the horse collar play, and new set of downs, and 14 points later, this one was basically in the books.
High kick, taken cleanly, and that will do it here at Commonwealth. Toronto Argos take the victory, 43-31. Those guys sensational today. 3 touchdowns for A.J. Ouellette.
Almost 200 yards rushing for the Toronto Argonauts.
Started somewhat okay for Edmonton, but the Argos, looking like the defending champions they are, fell behind 14-7, took over the game. Questions at quarterback still for Edmonton, and the search for a home win continues as well. 19 losses in a row at home for the Elks. We'll send it off to SportsCenter with Laura and Tessa.
Inside SportsCenter, she is Laura. I am Tessa. We're going to get things kicked off with the game you just saw. Now, most people, any sports fan really, there's a thing called home court or home field advantage. Just playing at home, there is an advantage. But I'm going to guess that small percentage that do not believe in that are all Edmonton Elks fans. They've got to be.
The Elks, they started off so well in this game, you know. They were shut out their last game. They put up only 13 points in their opening game. They put the points on the board, but the Argos put up more.
That's a key point.
The losing skid at home continues. Taylor Cornelius has won just 2 of his last 13 starts for the Elks. First quarter, Elks threatening on first down. Cornelius dumps it to Kevin Brown. Does the work. In there for the touchdown. Brown's first receiving touchdown of the season. Cornelius has his second TD strike of the year as the Elks, there was that good start. After responding with a touchdown of their own, the Argos offense trying to stay hot in the second.
Intercepted at the 25, all the way back to the house, Purifoy, and Edmonton goes on top.
Well, hey now, Lucas Purifoy, the 7-year veteran in his first season with the Elks, perfectly undercutting Chad Kelly's pass. And how about taking it to the house for the pick 6, the first interception thrown by Kelly all season. Edmonton gets that lead right back. The score now 14-11. The Argos with the ball back. Late goings of the half. Kelly, a little redemption here. Over the middle, a strike to Cam Phillips. Big gain, a gain of 30. Next play, Kelly Using his feet, eludes the defender, escapes the pocket, and knows what to do. David Unger, walk-in touchdown. Doesn't get much easier than that. Kelly's first passing touchdown of the season, and it is a nice one. Keeps the play alive, takes advantage of the slip. And what a response from the Argos as they head into the locker room with that 1-point lead, which brings us to our TSN turning point. Third quarter, second down. Jake Serezna takes down Kelly for the sack. Should force a punt, but called for the horse collar. So with a fresh set of downs, the Argos drive down the field, taking advantage of the costly miscue. Second and goal, A.J. Ouellette. Second touch in the game for him. Next Elks possession, forced to punt on third down, and it is blocked. Unger gets a hand on it, making an impact on special teams and offense. He can do it all. So with great field position again, first and goal, and it's Ouellette. Third touch of the game, the hat trick, as the Argos go on a 25 straight point stretch following that Serezna penalty, and that is your final 43-31 as the Argos keep pace with those Montreal Alouettes to sit 2-0, the best in the East so far, while the green and gold, yes, the losing streak at home now hits 19 games. Haven't won at Commonwealth Stadium since October 12th, 2019. 1,353 days. Some dark days, definitely, for the Edmonton Elks, with plenty more to brighten things up a little bit. Kate Burness and the panel.
And alongside Paul Lapolis, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, and it is misery at Commonwealth right now, pushing that losing streak to 19 games. And I think the disappointing part of this game in particular was they had a great first half. Taylor Cornelius looked like he had settled in a little bit. There was consistency to the offense, and then it all falls apart in the third. And kudos to the Argos, too. They made the adjustments at halftime, and they fully deserved that win. Milt, the question is, how bad are these Elks?
They're bad. They're really bad. The good news is it's only 3 weeks in, so they have time to fix it, but they have a lot to fix. You know, I mentioned, is it the play calling, or is it the players that are executing the plays? But they can't allow themselves to continue with what they've been doing. If it's changing players, if it's changing the play calling, they have to change something. They have to change something if they want to have an opportunity to win games, because what they've done in the first 3 weeks has been bad. It's been below bad. So I'm sure Chris Jones and everyone involved know they have to make some changes. Where those changes need to be, I don't know, but something has to change. Otherwise, we'll continue seeing this same thing over and over again, and then they'll be forced to make changes because they won't be there. So I'm sure they understand what they need to do.
And Milt, we saw the quarterback carousel hit overdrive in Edmonton tonight, and it was absolutely crazy to watch Taylor Cornelius go 14, 18, 130 yards, a touchdown, no picks in the first half, and then play a little bit in the second half and get pulled. And to me, that is a little bit alarming there, but it means that they had a short leash on him. And then Kai Loxley, talk about, he didn't have a leash. He got one RPO, balls on the ground, and he was pulled, and he never moved from the sidelines again. He looked very, very disappointed, as he should be, because that was like they just skipped over him like a heartbeat. And it was just like that, and went to Jarrett and Jarrett Dagey. And Jarrett Dagey looked like he belonged. And that could be the situation with the Edmonton Elks. You know, a lot of people can see what's going on. It's like, is your kid in your playground? You go, he's the fastest kid out here. He's the best quarterback out here. The Edmonton Elks could be saying that Jarrett Dagey is the best quarterback out here. He's not out there. That could be the problem with your football team right there. And I saw him spark this football team. Yes, there were yards after beat down there, and a lot of that was going on. But this kid read the field quickly, and we could be seeing a Tyree Adams and a Jarrett Dagey next week when these two teams go at it.
Yeah, what I liked when he went in the game is you want quarterbacks who can process information, get the ball quickly, and he made decisions quickly and got the ball out of his hands. You know, there's been a lot of sacks. Taylor took some sacks again tonight, so you know, maybe it's taken him a couple of weeks, because I wonder why he hasn't been on the roster before, guys. But he certainly had some tools, looked good. Here's a positive for the Elks. C.J. Sims had 3 huge returns, right? Really good young player for them. And I do want to give a shout out to the Argonauts. David Unger had a touchdown.
Argonauts looked good once again.
Really good game.
That was a big time game.
Well, and I think the tough part is you look at the schedule now too. The Elks go to Ottawa and you think, okay, automatic win. But the Red Blacks are coming off the bye, of course, and then they go to Saskatchewan, and then they finally get another shot at Commonwealth. But for these Edmonton fans at this point, I mean, they are just itching for a victory. But the streak continues for the Elks as we send it back to SportsCenter.
All right, well, our post-game coverage continues. New on SC, here's Britt Dort with AJ Ouellette, who scored 3 touchdowns tonight.
All right, AJ, well, you guys came out in that second half and really proved the Argonauts team that you were. So what was it about those final 2 quarters that you guys were able to get rolling with?
Just in the second half, we knew that they were getting tired there in the second quarter, so we were going to push the tempo, go a little fast. You know, on offense, I'm not sure what the defensive game plan was, but we were just going to wear them out, run the ball. We had me, Andrew, and then Dan got in there at the end, and yeah, just keep running the ball.
Well, boy, did you ever run the ball. 3 touchdowns tonight. How are you feeling after that performance?
I'm feeling good. You know, blessed that we came out pretty healthy. Got to check in on Cage, make sure he's all right. But huge shout out to the O-line. Made my job easy. Kind of got lost out there, not getting touched on some of the runs, you know, especially inside zone. Those aren't normally as perfect as they look today.
Well, a Grey Cup championship team. You start the season 2-0. What can you say about this group this year?
We got workers in the room. We got rid of some guys, brought in some, you know, some ballers, and they showed up and you know, put the hard hats on, and they come to work every day.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It was another solid outing for Chad Kelly tonight. Let's hear from the Argos quarterback with Britt Dort.
Well, you told me before the game you love being a quarterback because you love being the guy that everyone can rely on. So what can you say about this win tonight?
Yeah, it was good. You know, we definitely got to fix some things, right? You know, every day, every snap, we got to get better. But I think overall, I mean, 180 rushing yards, you know, that's a fantastic job on the line. No sacks. You know, I thought the wide receivers got open. I kind of forced some things down the field. But overall, everybody was ready, you know. So it was a good team win.
You're mentioning the rushing yards. What can you tell me about Ouellette and his performance tonight, the type of player he is?
I mean, man, every day he comes to work. He works hard. There's not a snap that goes by that it takes a snap off, right? So I think it's a testament to who he is, and you know, we got a lot of guys that are hard workers and have an edge to them.
Well, I know you're going to take some time soak in this win. You're 2-0 on the season, but next week you're facing the 3-0 BC Lions. So what kind of challenge is that going to be for this team?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge. They have, you know, a lot of veteran guys, you know, that are back there. Obviously, Purefoy left from over there, but you know, I think they got a good group of guys over there, offense and defense and special teams. They're an electric group, so we got to just be ready. Thank you that it's at home, right? So we just got to get better every day.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you, Argos.
Back to the CFL now, and Jared Dagey, boy, made things a little interesting at the end of the game there for the Elks. He is new on SC.
What happened in that second half?
I mean, they just called my number, and I tried to just make the most of my opportunity. Just kind of went in there and, you know, just kind of like left it all out there, just trying to do what I can to help the team, try to build some momentum.
You and Vincent do much over the training camp or the preseason? Looks like a good connection.
I mean, I really haven't got to go with the first string very much. I've really been with the B squad the whole time, but I know the first squad is a bunch of ballers, and just got to get the ball in their hands and let them play.
It leapfrogged pretty quick to you after a fumble snap there. I mean, I know you guys got to be ready at all times, but that's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I try to prepare like I'm the starter every week, and just stay ready. You never know when your number's going to be called, especially at the professional level and in the CFL. And just kind of just prepared myself like I was going to play during the week.
Going forward, how confident are you to beat this team?
Very confident in myself. Just got to prepare, get these guys to prepare, go back to work this next week, and go get a win.
Obviously a tough mood right now in the locker room, so it's a little harder for your quarterback, so it's kind of next man up.
No, it's definitely hard because we're a tight-knit group. I've learned a lot from Taylor. I've learned a lot from Kai. I learned a lot from Trey as well. And, you know, just after a loss, if you really love the game, it's going to sting a little bit.
What have you seen over from the sideline over the first 2.5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I just try to play the game like I'm playing quarterback. I just try to read the defense and try to go where I'm supposed to go with the ball in my head, try to just get mental reps. So when I do get in the game, I'm ready.
The team is 0-3 to start the year. What does that mean?
I mean, you just got to shake it off. You got to go back to work. Next week, just put your head down, study harder, work harder, and go get a win. Find a way to win.
Back to the CFL and the defending champs, 2-0 now. Let's hear from Argos head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. He is new on SC.
Really, we got cut off, but that's one thing that Chad's got in his toolbox, and it's fun for me as a coach. I haven't had a quarterback as athletic as he's been. So it's great when things aren't there, breaks down. He's strong enough to kick through a tackle, and he's fast enough to extend the edge. So, Dave's seen it. He's seen scramble rules, so he ran up the sideline, and there's someone there, and then he'll fall out to the sideline. So it's a great play by both those guys.
And just another one, getting everyone involved in the offense, a little more well-rounded today, you felt?
Yeah, I feel like we stayed on track. Even we were down early, I thought we were running the ball for about 5 yards of carry, and we were throwing it and running it. We had a good little mojo going, and, we were behind, then we got it going right before the half. But, I thought we played, decently well on offense. We got a long ways to go. But if we can have that flow, keep guys off balance, I thought that was a good performance running the football and passing the football. I thought our O-line played great.
And final one for me, your defense, a lot of talk about Chad, but your defense obviously stepped up big, especially your defensive line with the 6 sacks in the game.
Yeah, they should have had about 12. So we missed a lot of tackles in the backfield. We knew we had to keep them in the pocket. I thought, for the most part of that, we knew they weren't going to be able to athletically block us. And, that's why we knew we were going to have a party at the quarterback. So I got to do a better job of, finishing plays. And like I told our guys today, I thought, we got a little bit, worn out. Conditioning is going to be very important this week to make sure, we get that, because I thought we got tired and that led us some points.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Next question, JC Abbott from 3 Down.
Hey, Coach, all 3 of your backs got involved a lot tonight, and that offensive line, as you mentioned, was pushing some people around even without Darius Sirocco. What were your impressions of the running game?
Thought it was good. We knew we had to run it. I know if we didn't get the run game established, Chris was probably going to drop 9 and 3-man rushes and, make some small windows for Chad to throw in. So that was the priority going into it. But we got 3 really good backs. We got a really good O-line. I thought those guys played really well. And I think we can run the ball downhill a little bit more. So it was a great performance. But you watch even Daniel at the end. Those are some really good runs. Daniel's going to be a great football player. Unfortunately for him, he's got, 2 all-stars ahead of him. And one, for sure, Hall of Famer. AJ's Hall of Fame caliber if he can play long enough. But, those guys played hard and played pretty well.